Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, hope everyone's doing okay. It's been a proper shit weekend, my end. Yeah, and that today has properly just topped it off. That was a cherry on top of a pretty bad weekend. Anyways, let me know in the comment section how you feel. Let me know what you think. There's a poll in the chat. Do you think they should sack Farke now? Do you think they should give him the Villa game? Do you think he should get the job till the end of the season? Bang your, bang what you think in that poll, please. I'd appreciate. We'll have a look at that towards the end if someone reminds me, because I'll probably get lost on the tangent as always. I'll try and bring your chats, your chat up as we go through. There may be quite a few in here, so if I can't get through them, I'll do apologise. Two things I'll say: we can all have a difference of opinion. Let's just make sure we are respectful of each other in chat, because I've seen a lot of hate on other spaces, a lot of even in my group chat, which is a bunch of really good guys have been a bit of fallout in there. So let's keep it respectful. I'll try and go through the chat. And if you're from another side, if you're a fan of another club, which I do have people in here, let's not talk about your club. Let's not brag. You know, we love banter. I love banter, but now's not the time. You know, as a fan base, we're hurting. There's a lot of emotion just in our fan base alone, and I'm respectful of every other club. But yeah, I haven't seen anything as yet. Obviously, I've got to get through comments, but let's just try and be respectful of this space. There's a lot of Leeds fans in here hurting. I'm going to be speaking about uncomfortable things. I don't think the manager should continue at Leeds United, which is a big statement to say. There's not many people saying this, you know, in this scene, and I'll put my hand up front parapet and say I don't think if it continues, I think we go down. So I think change is needed. We can discuss who, why, what, where, when as we go through it. You know, I do these, but yeah, just keep it respectful. I really appreciate it. 68 people already in the building after 3 minutes. That's class. Please smash a like and please subscribe if you're new here, which you may well be. Yeah, I put an instant match reaction out earlier, which has done record numbers for myself and the channel. Loads of new subscribers coming in. Hopefully, some watching in here now. So that's brilliant. It's unfortunate that it's not under better circumstances. I'd much rather putting content out after Leeds win 3-1 as opposed to getting absolutely smashed and looking like a very sore sight, to be fair, which it was. So we'll get through it. But obviously, you know what I'm like on here. I'll discuss my little bits as we go through, but obviously the chat's going to be popping, I would assume. Yeah, straight away, Brett is a new member. Thanks a lot, Brett, for that, mate. Means a lot. Yeah, there's memberships in description if you want to join. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. It's a great start. Thanks, mate. But yeah, I'll go through and I'll do my best. It has to go. Yeah, Sloan, I'm there too, mate. Dave Smith, hey up, Dave. Hey up. I think it's time for him to go. Great in Champo, but not Prem material. I like the guy, but time to go to Borough, maybe. I hear they're looking for a new manager. Yeah, hey up, Tezza. Hope you're well. Matt Leeds. Hey up, Matt. Hope you're all right, mate. On the other side of the globe. Hey, mate. I'm not Farke out yet, but if they did get rid of him, I could see why. But that game was poor defensively, and Beal is ball watch. Yeah, Beal were poor, mate. That sounds very much like Joe's stream earlier. That I sort of don't agree with that. I sort of think I don't get in my headspace, but everyone's entitled to an opinion, Matt. I don't get in my headspace as I am now how you cannot be Farke out, but you can see why they may get rid of him. I think if you can see why they may get rid of him and probably think, yeah, if I wake up morning, I might not be bothered because I sort of get it. I think that tells you everything you need to know. I think if you can see why they may get rid of him, I don't understand how you can't be Farke out, if you get me. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just think, I just think staring you in your face, we Farke would go down. Matt, I just think Farke would go down, simple as. And, maybe the squad is that poor. It doesn't matter who comes in, maybe we go down. But I tell you what, let's make a fist of it. You can get, managers that can get more out of a group of men than what a certain man can, We've seen it before. We'll see it again. These players are of a level which is not a top-end Premier League side. It's probably not even a middle to low-end Premier League side. It probably is relegation fodder. We've seen games where when he gets it right and when the lads turn up and play, we can match most in this division. But the fight doesn't seem to be there. Away from home, even under Farke, away from home, it's been poor. London, the hoodoo. Somebody needs to come in, rip up the rule book and go again for me. New ideas, new formation. May give the dressing room a lift. We all know under Farke there's players who don't get minutes. Maybe that'll give everyone a lift. Maybe the players that play week in, week out, the frustrators as fans, maybe that would change. I'm just one of them where I think a different voice may be needed. That's how I sort of view it. A different voice may be needed at this stage. Yeah, I thought Metche did well today. And as much as I like what DCL's been doing, for me, he doesn't score that goal. For me, he doesn't do that step with his left, push it with his right and drill it across goalkeeper. I don't know if he's got like locker at the minute. But I aren't going to sit here and slate DCL because Metche's, scored a goal today. But I'll tell you what, clinical. We haven't seen that from DCL. And I thought he'd done well throughout the game. Metche, I thought he did all right. I thought he was one of the people who can walk off with his head held high, to be fair. I really do. Farke has to go now. He looks and sounds completely lost. His team selections as subs are really proof. David O'Leary is still interested. I take him back. I think he's been at top level a bit too long, David O'Leary, mate. But I love the guy. Hey up, Angela. Hope you're well. What a day indeed. What a day indeed. Yeah, I'll get into that, Ian. I will do, mate. There's a lot of rumours that he'll be sacked and Michael. Yeah, well, that's how I think, mate. Marco Rose. That's how I think he's now the bookies' favourite. I've done a bit of looking at Marco Rose and I'll sort of go through why I think he would be a good candidate. There's other candidates out there. There'll be people I don't know. You know me. I watch Leeds United. I'm not a philosopher of football. I don't know every single manager, every single player across the globe. I'm not really asked. But if someone gets mentioned and a name pops up, I'll have a look. And Marco Rose looks likely, looks possible. I understand the link to Red Bull. He's actually got decent level managerial career, higher than what Farke's managed at previous. So I don't think it'd be a bad shout. He plays a 4-4-2. Diamond is his preference. Talk about ripping rule book up and starting again. I'd love that. We've been, Leeds fans, when it's not been working, we've been screaming for two up top. This guy plays his preferred lineup is a 4-4-2 diamond. Have we got the personnel to do that? I'm up for out at minute. Yes, Matt is a Sunderland fan. I feel sorry, and that's not to Leeds. It's to you. Cheers, pal. Cheers, mate. He is, John. He is. Kershaw, tough day, mate. Even Forest fans at full time said they didn't play well. But but it's easy, mate. We just rolled over and got his bellies tickled, didn't we? The fact that we scored a goal, brilliant. Away from home, a striker got a goal, brilliant. Metche delayed him at that point. The away end, absolute scenes in my living room because I didn't go today. And then 90 seconds later, just gift him a goal. Just shocking, disgusting. I thought Amperu struggled today again, but yeah, Perry for that for me. Why he's punching it back into the danger zone, knocking it back into penalty spot, I'll never know. Made no sense to me. Get your hand on it. It wasn't the best cross. Put into a dangerous area, but there weren't enough pace on that. He could have attempted to catch that, and if he spills it and he goes and it is what it is. But he punches it straight into danger. We would have a go at Melier every single time he punched it. Even if he punched it clear, we're banging drum on Melier. You need to catch it, and for me, Perry's got to try and catch that. Farke is spineless and very arrogant. Aye, Coxie. I'm not sure. Yeah, and you know what it is, Aina? Everyone's entitled to, I did a video over there, Farke in, Farke out, where you're sitting, all that. I've known about Farke's faults for a long time, as many have. He's irritated me. You've only got to go through, and I will speak about it today. Charlie Cresswell pissed me off. That situation pissed me off. Ramazani's pissed me off. He's done a lot of stuff, Jaden Anthony not getting any minutes at all, who want a decent replacement for a Tuesday night when you're playing Tuesday, and you can rest your star man. There were loads of little opportunities where you think, what's going on here with Farke? Willing on or not in lineup today in squad? Hopefully someone can tell me that isn't a personal issue and he had some sort of niggle. Please tell me he had a niggle, an injury, and that's why he didn't take part today. Because if it's something else off the field, I'll be fuming at that too. Seems to have an issue with flair players, Jorginho, rotor step overs, pirouetting, mugging off. Might have been Watford I think it was Watford that season. Their players making them look like mugs. Don't like it. Show respect for your opponent. Well, show respect for yourself, Farke. Show respect for your fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff about his personality that grates on me and has done for a while. And I've always spoke about it. It's not something I've hid from. But when it comes down to performances, for start half at season, first 5 or 6 games, I was happy. Bar Arsenal, we're getting points, and there'll be people still say 11 in 11, it's great. But those points, those performances are dwindling. You know, you can look at it on a whole if it makes you sleep better at night. But let's strip it back and cut out the bullshit. And the trajectory is going downwards. There's a downward trajectory here. The performance is dropping. You know, for me now, he's brought Perry and Biol in. Oh, please let this be the saviour. Guess what? Fucking goals galore. 6 goals in the last 2 games. Perry conceded 5 at Arsenal. I mean, how many's Perry conceded? 12, 13 in 5 games or something. Not saying they're all his fault. No. Not saying they're all Biol's fault. But the Rodon-Biol partnership doesn't look as secure as the Rodon-Strout partnership now, does it? It doesn't look as strong. So all of a sudden now, not only is he a question mark on manager, there's a question mark on personnel. You know, 11 games in and we still don't know his best centre-half pairing, his best goalkeeper, as best midfield. That were part today. Longstaff, shocking for me today. Probably worst at bunch, in my opinion. I thought Longstaff were really poor. Free kick on the edge of their area. Instead of nipping in, he tries to pass it out wide and they just intercept it and go. Always whinging at referee. Frustrations. Boiling over. Just poor. And the players have to take accountability. The board haven't backed Farke the whole hog. They haven't given him everything he wanted. They give him enough for me, though, to be competitive. And we've seen it a little bit. But I now don't have the faith that Farke can keep this side up, regardless of blame. Doesn't matter who's to blame for me now. You got to ask yourself one question: can Farke keep this side up? And if you'd answer with investment in January, then he needs to go, because there's no guarantee that happens. You've got to look at it. Can Farke keep this squad up with no additions? Because that's a possibility. If we are close to PSR limit and we can't spend, that could happen. Can he keep this group of players in the Premier League, regardless of blame? I don't think he can. I no longer think this man has got the in-game capacity to change things when it's going wrong. And as a newly promoted fucking side, it's going to go wrong more often than not. You're going to go down. We can't keep a clean sheet, so we're always going to concede. Always. And we can bemoan, he wanted another striker, he wanted a right winger, he wanted a 10. Don't fucking matter who you've got if you're conceding 3 goals a game. Who you beating? When you concede, who we beat, we win 5-4, 4-3 every week, 3-2 every week. We're not, are we? Don't matter who we've got. And I know goals change games. If we can get that first goal, it'd be a different story. But we're not tight enough at the back. And he picked his defenders. Signed off on his goalkeeper. He signed off on his midfielders. And we're not getting it right at the back end of the pitch. Something has to change, because the players are still going to be here come end of season. The board are still going to be here at the end of the season. But just so you know, I aren't going to be able to get through everyone's comments. There's 121 people in the building. Thanks so much, honestly. It means a lot. 41 likes. Please smash a like on the video. It really helps with the algorithm. Really appreciate everyone who's tuned in. It's not a nice stream to do at all. You know, I love these solo lives, but it's going to frustrate me and stress me out a bit that I can't get every comment on screen because it's popping off, as you can imagine. So just please, don't hold me. Don't hold it against me for not being able to bring them all up. Yeah, what embarrassing today, mate. Yeah, he hadn't learned, Nigel, at all. He hadn't learned. We saw he didn't learn from Arsenal with his tactics last week. And then today, it was just so poor. I mean, we had 52% possession? It was fairly even set, call it 50-50. And we did naught with it. Every time Forest got the ball, I felt they could score. Every time we got the ball, I felt we were going to lose it in 2 or 3 passes. We cannot build pressure and put it on a team. We can't do it. Away from home, we can't do it. And you know what it is? Villa at home, I think we get beat by Villa. I think we get beat easily by Villa as well. In my opinion, I think we get easily done by Villa. They just put 4 past Bournemouth, and we know how good Bournemouth are. We've seen it with his own eyes. But because it's at Ellen Road, there is a chance we can win that game. And I don't want to be, horrible to Farke and saying it's not to do with him if we do win, because as a collective it is. But the fan base being at home, that's a massive pull. At home, we can get points. So if he stays in charge and he gets a result against Villa, then great. And I think anybody who comes out and says this, it's all right, watching or commenting and stuff, being on screen and coming out and saying, I want my manager to be sacked. It's not a nice thing to say at all. I don't want anybody in life to go through any hardship. Not at all, especially someone who's brought me so much joy. I don't want him to get sacked. Fucking awful. But I don't think he's a man to take us forward now. I think we go down with him. And if he stays in his position, which he probably will, and if he does, and we get beat by Villa, and we beat Villa, and say we go to City and get a draw, there'll be people coming on here now who maybe won't be in chat tonight, and they'll let me know that I'm an absolute dickhead, because that's how this role works when I'm doing this, But I can only say, as a fan, I pay me money, I go week in, week out when I can, and I don't think it's good enough. And I think we go down. And when you think you go down, you may as well make a change. You may as well make that change. Because we're going down anyway in my eyes now. Yeah, Paul, I'm not too bad, mate. It's been a bit of a crappy weekend, mate, but not too serious. Thanks for that. I think he has to go. Yeah, well, that is a problem. They've shown at Rangers, and I know it's not exactly the same people, but they've shown at Rangers that they didn't get that right. It were messy. Very messy. But you've just got to back that, they can do it. You just got to back them that they can do it. They've got to get something right, haven't they? They've got to get something right. They didn't quite get the window right. But yeah, Brett, of all the channels I watch, this is the only channel I deemed worth becoming a member of. Love the crack and value, Matty's honesty, regardless what team he speaks. So thanks, Brett. Honestly, that's class. That. Thanks so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Legend. It's obvious. Hey up, Steve. It's obvious that he won't change the way we play. I do now think he's lost the dressing room by how the players are playing his way, as they don't like what he's doing. Oh, you think he's lost the dressing room? That's a statement, that, Steve. That's a statement. I'm not too sure I'm there yet. We're losing dressing room. I think he's lost certain personnel over his tenure at Leeds. He's definitely lost certain personnel. And I think there'll be a lot of things come out after he leaves, if I'm honest. At some point, we will hear things, because I'm not too sure he's... I sort of know things through people, like everyone says all this, but I don't get the impression from what I've heard he's a very likable person, to be honest, what I've heard. And there'll be some people say, that's bullshit, and I aren't really bothered. Like, I believe in certain aspects he hasn't condoned himself too well to certain players, and I think that's been evident what's happened. And depending what side of the fence you sit on, you can believe Ramazan is a bad trainer, you can believe Cresswell had a bad attitude. You can believe anything you want to believe to push your narrative and your belief, and that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't subscribe to all that, to be honest. I worry the 49ers will keep hold of Farke in case we get relegated. You know what it is, Skippy? I've seen that, right? If we were to start in the Championship next season, I'd back Farke to get us up, right? But from now till then, there's another 27 games to go. If he remains in charge for the next 27 games and we get relegated, fuck me, it'll be toxic by the time the season starts. It'll be horrendous. No one will even like Farke at that point. If it's based on he'll get us up, you can't go off that. Yeah, if he were to come into your club in Championship and you were a good side, just being relegated, if he comes into another relegated side, you'd back him to do a job. But if he stays at that club like Leeds from now, and if it's such a poor season, I don't think you can use that to sort of measure him with. I think it'd be an absolute shit show. Hey up, Ryan. Hope you're well. Top banana. Maybe. I want to find out that, Coxie. I really do. Can't see another win away or home. I think we'll win games at home, Dave, regardless of who's in charge. I think away from home is the issue. Massive issue. So passport I think Farke has taken us as far as he can when he offload players in January before we can recruit. That's the issue. Yeah, I mean, to get another manager in, is it going to be a tough ask to get someone in for a relegation battle? when people are saying we haven't got the quality, look at the players. Will anyone want to take that job? I believe so. I believe if he's, a candidate, like I think there's a few who are out of work, I think it's still a decent job to take. It's so early in the season that there is a massive chance that you'll get a decent manager in, someone with a bit of pedigree, because it's still Leeds United in the Premier. It's a Premier League job. It's a Premier League job at the end of the day. There's only 20 Premier League jobs in it. That's it. And anybody, especially who's out of work, would love the chance, in my opinion. Yeah, he will. I think he gets the Villa game because we won the last home game, but the pressure is on him. Yeah, I mean, I think it's daft because we lose a Villa game, then what? You sack him, and new manager's got City with no preparation. I think if they don't sack him in these 2 weeks, they may as well give him end of season. It's that clear to me. They may as well, because what is the point in continuing based on we might beat Villa? We might do, but then we're going to get beat for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that potentially. And you've missed that bedding in period a new manager could have had. Yeah, I mean, he's proved he's not Prem level at Norwich, but again, when we say not backed, like zero funds there. Zero funds. He went into the second season with Norwich knowing they'd go down. So, yeah, it's a tough one when it comes to Norwich. I don't really subscribe to that, but he hasn't got any sort of credit in the bank, has he? So, if he struggled with Leeds United, he were always going to get that thrown back at him. I think some of them have. 100%. Realistically, we are not expecting much from the next 4 games, so this is the ideal time for a new manager. Yeah, of course it is. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, buddy. Richard, it can't, but it will. It will. I totally agree with you, Matty. The fight seems to have gone. Yeah, it does. Do you know what it is, Angela, right? There were a lot of people at the start of the season say, this is going to happen, so sack him now. And I can understand these people coming out and saying, told you, this was never going to work. We should have sacked him at the start, before the season started. I don't subscribe to that either. And I always had a feeling this would happen. And don't get me wrong, maybe you don't get sacked and we win a couple of games, everything's all right again. And then you can come back and have a go, can't you? Anyone who wants to. Not you, Angela, by the way. But I think if we sack him before the season, yeah, it's ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. But I wouldn't have agreed with it. And I'd have been fuming, to be fair. We're there at the parade, as many of us were. We're there week in, week out at Ellen Road. 2 great seasons. I don't think he deserved to be sacked, even though I knew this were possible. He's going to get a chance if a new manager comes in because he's got time. We talk about the squad. This squad is good enough to stay up. It's only got to be better than 3 teams. Who those 3 teams are? Don't look like it's West Ham or Nottingham Forest anymore, which I didn't think it would be a few weeks ago when they were dwindling. But I don't agree that we should have sacked him in summer. Even though now I think we should sack him, I still don't think he deserves to be sacked in summer. I think he deserved a crack. I do. And that's, people will say that's sentimental. How can you say that when you don't want him in 11 games in? I just think he deserved it based on what he'd done. He deserved the promotion. And now he isn't good enough for the promotion. Like in any job. So now you've got to have that discussion. Can we bring someone else in who can get more out of this team? And I think we can. Yeah, to be fair, Richard, I can't argue with that. He deserves to start the Villa game, 100%. Yeah, Brett, they could have been avoided, 100%. Mike Bassett, enjoyed your vid earlier. You said it how it is. Cheers, Mike, and that's all I can do. I'm not I'm not a football philosopher. I'm no Joe. I'm no good friend of mine. Love the way he speaks about football. A lot of people in this space can. My word, like my mate Bossnas and AG on Late Night Leeds every Friday at 10 o'clock. Make sure you're back next Friday. Be a tasty one. They know football a lot better than I do. I'm just a fan who speaks my mind and how I'm feeling at the moment. And I'm a really optimistic fan. I hate being negative. And the thought of someone potentially losing the job and I'm sort of stoking that fire. Not that anyone's listening, Barrows, like, no one in club gives a shit what I say, but I don't like it. I feel like it's, I don't know. I don't like being vicious or nasty to someone. Luckily, I won't say it, but I just don't feel comfortable with this conversation. But rather than going fuck out, sack him, I'm very much of the notion that I've just lost faith in that man who's in charge of the football decisions at Leeds United, and he's heavily involved in every single aspect of the club. He's got too much control at Leeds as Farke, and that's the issue. And I have problems with, like I say, certain sides of his character and how he's handled certain situations, although he's handled some situations brilliant as well. There's 2 sides to it. I just think at this point, he will not get enough points needed to keep us in division. And it's so detrimental that we do that it's worth the risk of trying, in my opinion. It's worth the risk of trying to get somebody else in. I'm not massively Farke out given what he has done for us, but we need to have learned from giving Marsh too long. Yeah, that's it. We've been burnt before, haven't we? Like the Liverpool win under Marsh when Somerville scores at Anfield, and it just bought him so much more time. Where that was the perfect time. We lose that game, he probably goes, and who knows? Maybe his season develops differently. I think they've got to look at that. I mean, we lost today, so we haven't even got that. You know, we lost today, and it was against a side, bearing in mind, better quality than us, better players than us. But I tell you what, weeks ago, months ago, beginning of season, people laughed. Sean Dyche. I wouldn't want him at Leeds. He's just schooled our manager. Just schooled him. And I know he's got better players, but proactive subs at the right moments, regardless of talent. Proactive subs at the right moment. See a game, you can train all week for that specific opponent. And guess what? It may not be working. Because until you play a game, you haven't got a fucking clue. You can do as much analysis as you want. Look, and maybe it's just not working. Proactive subs. Change it mid-game. I fucked up here. This isn't right. Bang, bang, bang. Go do your business. Omari Hutchinson, I'd love him at Leeds United. I'd loved him in summer. Direct. Gabby Goodmanson's really struggling with direct wingers at the minute. And don't get me wrong, Goodmanson, I love him going forward. He's starting to look a little bit poorer at the back. Unfortunately for him, he plays left back, and the best position in the Premier League for me for talent is right wing. It's just a fact. They are the best players in the division of wingers in general. Right wing, Saka's, Salah's, brutal. Omari Hutchinson had him on toast. There's been a few people did that. Minter did at Brighton the other week. And unfortunately for us, we lose a game there that was in the balance at one point. You know, 1-1, they were playing better football than us, but we had a lot of the ball. But at 1-1, it can go either way. It's a side that's won one game all season, regardless of what talent they've got on that pitch. One game all season. With Sean Dyche as the manager. And we got beat 3-1. Not good enough. Not good enough at all. I think they're very weak in attack, and you spent 15 million. It's not a Premier League attack, in my opinion. Yeah, and there'll be a lot of Leeds fans agree with you there, Ian. A lot of Leeds fans will agree with you. And it's looking that way now, isn't it? Tanaka, yeah, it was criminal, James. Honestly, I thought same. You try to change a game, you make 5 subs, and Tanaka's not one of them. When all 3 midfielders were dire today. Dire. Harrison on the bench. Yeah, well, I don't want to hammer that too much, Richard. Don't want to hammer that too much. Just because maybe he gets, you know, we push that sort of that notion that there's been a falling out there and he's left him out and what's he playing at? And then we find out he's got a niggle. So until I hear otherwise, I'm not going to really mention the Nonto thing. But you best believe if it comes out that there's been a fallout and he were 100% fit, I'll be fucking coming for Farke then, because it's happened too many times. Buendia, Cantwell, you know, Charlie Cresswell, and obviously Ramazan. It's happened so many times. I'm hoping this isn't another one of them cases, Richard, because we needed Nonto today. And Nonto's been out for a few, you know, maybe a bit rough. It would have been match sharp, but 20 minutes, maybe he could have made a difference. Kevin, you're up for the Leeds job? No chance. Hey, mate, like your passion in the car blog, Matt. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, that's just me, mate. I'm a passionate fool. I actually got quite emotional earlier, right? Listen to this. I got quite emotional. So, watching game, went 1-0 up, and my little boy Theo jumping for the hoops, up and downstairs, you know. Over at me, 1-0. Oh, wow. Come back downstairs at 1-1. It ended up being 3-1 when he come in. And I actually asked him for a cuddle, yeah, and I actually apologised to him. And this sounds daft. Apologised to him. A bit tongue-in-cheek. You can see I was getting emotional because I was just like, I got so angry that I knew I was going to have to talk about my feelings on here and you know, put someone out to dry, as in I don't like this manager anymore. And I said to him, I'm sorry, mate. I'm so sorry that, you know, you're now a Leeds fan based off your old man. You know, obviously he's from Leeds, but kind of apologising to him for what's to come, because he's got fucking years of hurt, hasn't he? And I know we all love it, you know, ups and downs and jeopardy and, you know, all that. And I absolutely love this club, and I love everything about being a Leeds fan. I love that I've always lived, you know, 15, 20 minutes from ground. I love it. Absolutely love it. Sometimes after work, I'll drive past and get out and, you know, have a little look at the square and have a look at my plaque and look at Billy, and I just love it. But yeah, just a sort of tongue in cheek, had a bit of a laugh and a bit emotional, but like, sorry, son, 6-year-old, and you've got a lot of grey hairs to come early because this is what this club does to you. It's what it does to you. So yeah, my passion's there for everyone to see, mate. I'm not great at this. I just waffle on, but I'm passionate, man, and I absolutely fucking love this club. And I love doing this. I love having a space where, you know, we can come on here and chat, and I can voice my opinion. So I appreciate that. Thank you. What manager would you get more of this firepower we have? Harrison should never ever wear a Leeds shirt again. Aronson tries, but yeah. I mean, Harrison coming on for Goodmanson, criminal, mate. Why you take an actual left back off for Harrison? It didn't make sense. Bringing Strauch on again, I just didn't understand any of it, to be fair. Say Tanaka could have come on, but again, there's a lack of quality there for everyone to see. But chucking all your attackers on, when does it work? Never works. But yeah, Marco Rose, I think Marco Rose. And I know people will say Brendan Rodgers, Southgate. This is what I aren't going to throw names out there and get ridiculed, right? Which does happen. I think Farke gets us relegated. I don't know if any of those names that people would laugh at would get us relegated, because I've not seen what they're like as in the Leeds dugout. I haven't seen it. So, you know, the people that are available, Gerrard, I won't want him. Southgate, no idea. I haven't really thought about it. Brendan Rodgers, not really thought about it. But I know they've been in high caliber matches. Matches Farke would never manage in. Levels Farke will never manage in. But I don't want to go down that road because you get ridiculed for mentioning names. But I think Farke gets us relegated. So right now, I take a punt on anyone who's worth the salt, really. Because I don't look at any of those and go, they will get us relegated, because I've not seen proof. I want someone to come in, change formation, get a rocket up their ass, get that new manager bounce, and maybe it don't work. And guess what? We got relegated anyway. And that's exactly where we'll be if we keep Farke, in my opinion. That's how I am on it. So you can't lose for me, sack it manager, in my head. But like you say, maybe he keeps us up and you can come back and laugh at me for this. And I hope that's the case if he stays in job. If he stays in job, I definitely don't want to be doing streams like this every fucking week. Definitely don't want to be doing this all week. It's fucking awful. It's stressful as fuck. Sorry for swearing all the time, but it's been a proper bad weekend anyway. But this is just, yeah, it's thrown me a bit. I didn't expect us to get beat today. I thought it may happen, obviously, but I didn't expect us to get hammered 3-1 with such a poor performance. I went to Brighton and back last week. That was bad enough. But that was a game I expected to lose and be a massive gulf in quality, which it was. So as annoyed as it was to lose a game of football, I got it. This one felt like Burnley again. And these are way better than Burnley, but it felt like Burnley again. This is a game against a relegation rival, someone we should be in the game with, and we lost 3-1. Fulham are down there, we lost to them. Burnley are down there, we lost to them. Forest are down there, we lost to them. Yeah, we beat West Ham, great. They're going to finish above Leeds. 100% they finish above Leeds. Nightmare. Our squad is good enough to stay up. I think so. It's just formation tactics. And yeah, and don't get me wrong, Nige. It's not great. It's not going to be 12th, 13th, 14th. It is going to scrape it. But when people say we'll take 17th, what people have got to remember is, yeah, 17th is fine. Well, of course we'd take 17th. But finishing 17th, it were always going to be hard to keep Farke in job. Because staying 17th, it's not like we're going to be riding top 10 all season, then just have a fall off when we've got a massive gap of points. If we finish 17th, which everyone would have took at the start of the season, it was probably inevitable, even though it hasn't happened yet, that Farke's job's in jeopardy. You can't finish 17th and flirt with relegation as a manager that's never sort of shown he's got that Premier League caliber. So there always always a chance that he'd get relegated. Sorry, he'd get sacked even if we stayed up, and he wouldn't see that 17th finish. Let's match the viewers with likes, guys. It's easy and free. Oh, that's class. Thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, 62 likes, 157 people. And just want to say, the YouTube's been fucked for a while. It's been poor. It's been hard. I've been putting a lot of work into it, and for whatever reason, it's not been connecting with people. The fact there's 157 and here my arse has fallen out a little bit. It's been highlighting my weekend, having so many people coming, even though it's after a negative result. So yeah, if you could please smash me a like, I'd much appreciate it. Please subscribe and all that. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. No creativity. We've lacked leadership lately on the pitch. No communication. We look lethargic and scared with no fight. 100%. 100%. And leadership, when you've got Ampadu, we spoke already this season. Ampadu's your captain. We spoke already. Rodon's like a captain. Longstaff's like a captain. We've already spoke like it's DCL when he's on pitch. He's got, leadership qualities. We've already spoke about having many leaders. Now all of a sudden it feels like we've got none, Skip. Feels like we've got none. They're all just stood around. You know what's doing my head in, right? When teams are getting in and around our box, getting the ball in the box, and we've just got a free run through middle of our area. That today, Brighton, there's just gaping holes everywhere. I don't know if it's down to the communication skills of Biol and Rodon. You'd like to think it's not, but there's something amiss there. Under Pascal, yeah, there were still mistakes, but I didn't feel like there were just gaping holes in middle of our, you can park a bus down middle of our centre halves at the minute. Mental, absolutely mental. Petty rubbish, recall, Dal. It's hard. He's just conceded the stats will back up. Whatever you want him to back up, if you're a Darlow fan, you can look at it and go, well, he's conceded a lot less in less games, which is true. But I mean, 3 away at Brighton, Darlow probably concedes them as well. 5 at Arsenal, he probably concedes them as well. But still, it's a lot of goals he's conceding, Coxie, innit? A lot. There's a conversation now that Darlow and Strout come back in. But for me, I'd probably stick with Petty a bit longer. But for me, Strout comes back in. He does. Plus, when we're not attacking very well, Strauch is your best ball-playing centre-half. So when you're trying to start attacks, he can progress the ball. Like at Brighton, I don't understand Farke's tactics. Let's play away at Brighton, yeah? And play out from the back against one of the best pressing sides in the division, right? Let's play out from the back. But I'll tell you what we'll do before we play out from the back. I'm going to take my best passer of the ball from defence. I'm going to take him out. And then I'm going to stick Biol in there. Who's a big lump, physical player. I'm going to play out from back. Makes no sense. 0 sense at all for that one. Yeah, not picking up runners, Richard. It's a common theme now. Common theme. I'll just keep saying, every time I say that, I'll keep saying my choice currently, without looking too much into everybody else, because I probably will do a video. I'll see how I feel. I don't just want to keep doing a video about Farke out. If he's still in a job, he's still in a job. But maybe in the national break, I'll have a little look and I'll do a bit of digging and research, which I don't normally do. I'm more just a feels guy. But I'll go and have a look around and I'll get some names and we'll have a discussion. But right now, Marco Rose, I think, has moved to the top of the bookies' favourite list. He's been manager of Leipzig, Dortmund, Mönchengladbach, RB Salzburg, when he got him to quarterfinals at Champions League, when he had Haaland and they were doing really well. 2 titles there. Salzburg, we know a few players from there, don't we? Mönchengladbach, Dortmund, Leipzig. And people say he got sacked from them jobs. He didn't do too well. Well, I'll tell you what, Farke never went from Gladbach to Dortmund and then to Leipzig, did he? He went to Gladbach, struggled and came away. So he's got more pedigree. He's 49-year-old, he's a German, and he plays a 4-4-2 and in a diamond formation. We're screaming out to play 2 up top at minute for me. And he has his team playing aggressive pressing style. Aggressive pressing style. Will that leave us wide open at back if his defence is good enough as it is? Maybe. We packed 3 in midfield at minute. And they're running through us like there's no one there. Something's got to change. Roberto Mancini. I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's a good name, innit? But I don't know. Yeah, it is, Mike. It is. Look at Joffrey at Hull, yeah. Again, I mean, don't get me wrong, in Premier League, probably not. But with that, Joffrey, look what he's doing at Hull with worse players around him. Was he really that bad at Leeds where he couldn't even met the bench some weeks? But I'm like that with Joffrey. I loved him. I thought he played for England 4 years ago. What a madman I look now, but he's playing really well. The points per game shows a real lack of ambition. Yeah, it does. And I think his post-match chat, I don't think that did him too many favours either. The points per game, I'm happy to be at a point per game. If it's game week 38 and we've got 38 points, I think that keeps you up. But right now, I don't think we're going to pick up many more points in these next few games. So that points per game, I can see as being 13 still on 11, 14 still on 11. Then all of a sudden, how are you bridging that gap? I think so, Coxer. PSF, if Farke does our heads in, what do you think he does to the player? Yeah, no, I agree. There'll be certain players that I think he ain't got on with. That's evidence. I think it's obvious. And there'll be other players who are starters who he does get on with who will be affected by that relationship breakdown with certain players because they're friends and they all talk, but they can't say anything. They can't do anything about it. But yeah, Stack is a crap player also. I just think he's out of form. I don't think he's a crap player. Again, Maybe it's just he's not clicking with manager the way he's been asked to play. I actually think he's a 6. Maybe he should be playing in Ampadu's position, but he ain't going to drop Ampadu for obvious reasons, even though he probably needs it at the minute. We saw a stat come out for 2 or 3 bad performances recently when Saka comes in. I'd say Ampadu right now probably needs dropping and maybe put Stack in there, but that won't happen. But you know what I quite like about manager change as well? I quite like how a new manager comes in and on that training pitch Monday morning, everyone's slate is wiped clean. Everybody starts at 0. No one's guaranteed a spot. Everyone's got a bus to go in training. And I think even something so simple like that, regardless of who the manager is, that's got to be worth a shot, right? It's got to be worth a shot. You've got players on our bench now who know they aren't going to play football. No, they aren't going to kick a ball. We know this. We know this. Just maybe a new manager who comes in and everyone has an equal opportunity to get on that first team sheet. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe that gets that, that new manager bounce people talk about. Be a lot of people kicking can in training, in my opinion. Can't really name no names, but if you know you're not getting played at all, you know 100% you're not getting picked. Are you that bothered? Really? I'm not too sure. I won't be. I won't give a shit. Not trying to be a dick, but where do your points come from? I can't be asked pulling fixtures up. I know they're horrible, John, but if I'm honest, I think we're in bottom 3 come Christmas with Farke by a decent gap as well. I don't think we get many points. I'm not an idiot to say we're going to lose every game. I don't see us losing every game, mate. I really don't. But yeah, it's not looking great, is it? I am Death Sniper. I've never been Farke out, but it now feels like the right time to do it. Give the new guy time in the window, 100%. I think that's the most logical way to look at it. And I don't think anyone up to this point had to be Farke out. People could see this coming, and that's fine. There hasn't been a connect with a lot of fans to this manager, and I get that. That's absolutely fine. You're in your own right to say he's just not my guy. You didn't pick the guy. You didn't sign the guy yourself. You're kind of forced to have to just get on with it, whether you like him or not. So I understand a lot of people didn't like him, and that's fine. And some people today will be saying, hallelujah, look, they've all seen fucking sense. And I hope there ain't many people out because, hopefully, first and foremost, you're gutted about the result, which I assume everyone is. But there's a lot of people today who's turning on, yeah, enough's enough now. And that'll please certain sections of fan base who've never wanted him in. But now is the right time. A bit of both, Dave, I suppose. A bit of both. How can we have spent over 100 million and seem to be a worse squad? Yeah, Skip, honestly, I think our side now would struggle to beat last season's side. Yeah, apparently we've left a little bit back for January. But there's obviously some issue there for me. Some issue there. I don't think we've still got 50, 60 million to spend. Maybe there's a little bit of wiggle room, but maybe not enough to add to the quality. We've seen what 15 million gets you in Beal. So far, maybe he'll improve. We've seen what 15 million gets you for Beal, I don't think we've got 50 million to splash out. I still think it's quite tight. Maybe enough for one player. Maybe enough for the Harry Wilson transfer that never happened. Is there an alternative that can do better with the time? Yeah, again, I think Marco Rose is worth a shout, mate. Fraser, super chat. Hey up, buddy. Thanks so much for that, pal. Have a pint on me, mate. Adapt is a key word in this league, and we haven't had a manager that truly understands that in a long time, MOT. Fraser, yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate you supporting me. Really do. And yeah, I agree, mate. He's not been able to adapt to any situation in game. We can all speak, Fraser, about his lineup, and people will say he's hamstrung with that. He's got. He can only piss out the dick you've got given, can't you? So I understand that. But he has to find a way. There's no two ways about it. And this is, the biggest job he'll ever have. It's been the best squad of players he's had in England anyway. That's a fact. I can't preach that I know much about his Gladbach side. I'm assuming there were some really talented players in there. But well, mate, yeah. It's been the same for a lot of people, that, pal. We aren't good enough to play out from the back. Of course we're not. Clem thinks he'll give him the Villa game. Yeah, I'm not too sure they'll sack him. I'm really not. I think if it gets to Wednesday, Thursday, and he's still here, then he's staying. Which it's just mad if we and then say we lose to Villa, then you sack him. It's a madness. Because even if we beat Villa, I still think we go down. I still think we go down under Farke. I think no matter what happens now, we go down if he stays in charge. Harrison at left back is crazy. Just shows a lack. Yeah, of course it does, mate. But the thing is, we have James Justin who could have come on. Yeah, unanimous. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. Have a quick look at that poll now, actually. 77 saying sack in this break. 10% have said keep him till end at 129 votes. 10% have said keep until end of season. Fair play, man. Fair play. If we beat Villa, only paper of the cups. Of course it is. Yeah, Baz, this is exactly what I've been saying the whole time. We can talk about what he's missed out on. And I don't want to kick Farke too much because, like I say, you know, there's been moments this season when I've really enjoyed what I've seen, you know, and he's got a lot of stuff right as well, you know, a lot of stuff right. We've had some great performances. It's just dwindling now. But the players that are in, he signed off on all of them. And the players we missed out on, we can talk about finances, we can talk about the 49ers, we can talk about Underwood. 49ers giving Underwood that gig. Fuck what they're thinking. Inexperienced. You look what Sunderland have done with their recruitment policy and the phone numbers they've got to be able to get into the players they've got. You know, you look at us with Underwood. What strings is he pulling? No, but Farke also has, for me as a fan looking in, so as a professional footballer, you see it. So if I'm Pajau, if I'm a talented, which obviously look at me, I'm not talented. If I'm a talented flair footballer, right, like Okafor, but I'm looking at the situation at least thinking, does Farke even like my style of football? Like, people may laugh at that and say, shut up, mine. That's fine, right? But I genuinely think there's a little bit of that as well. Like, the level of football, the style of football, maybe some of these top players that maybe we did look at have looked like I ain't playing for him. I don't even think I'll play if I come to you. He'll try and coach that out of me. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's not. But again, there's a reason why some of these players didn't come to Leeds. Is it all money? Is it all, they didn't sell on the project enough? Or is it a little bit of manager as well? Looking at manager, thinking, do I like him? Do I think he'll keep the Leeds up? Maybe it's that as well. Cheers, mate. If we get relegated and Farke is still in the job, I expect the team to be a lot weaker as well. Yeah, of course, mate, of course. Farke said post-match he wanted to give Nonto his 2-week break to get fully match fit, but he said in the press Nonto was fit now. Strange, right? So it wasn't an injury. It's just, yeah. Well, that's fishy as fuck, is that, Nige? That's fishy, that, mate. Mark, proper torn. Farke wasn't backed in the summer. 49ers doing it on the cheap, but Farke tactics. Yeah, you know what it is, right? We could have spent 200 million quid. Where would we be in the table? Where Sunderland are? I don't think we would have been. I don't think it would have been 10th, 12th. There's a chance that we'd have spent double money and still been where we are. Give him all the best players in the world. If you don't set them up right and can't change a game when it goes wrong, then what hope have we got regardless of that? You're relying on solo talent, which is our tactic now. Get the ball to Okafor. Please, Noah, do something. Please do us something. Get us out of this mess. Shit tactics. I'd bring in Gary O'Neill, to be fair. Yeah, not for me. It'd be underwhelming. But then again, Farke were underwhelming when he first came in for a lot of fans. But again, I think we go down with Farke, so I'll give out a go, to be fair. Yeah, subs are far too late. Yeah, bringing players on at 1-1 to 2-1, there's a big change. Of course there is. And James Justin should have been on, mate. Yeah, if Goodmanson were coming off, it had to be James Justin for me. Exactly. If he can't change, he's the one that's got to go. Yeah, I agree with that as well, Coxie. I think if a new manager comes in, he'll get funds in Jan. I do. I don't see how you sell the job to a candidate when you go in, right, we're in relegation zone, or we're flirting with relegation zone now, we're poor, a squad's lacking quality, but by the way, you're not getting anyone in January, there's no chat. It definitely, they'll definitely have to promise some funds in January, but maybe they've got funds anyway, maybe Farke's getting him if he's still here. It's blind leading the blind. Some players must be unsettled by the decisions. Yeah, there must be. Yeah, we do have a loan option. Yeah, we do. I actually think, can you imagine if Leeds sacked Farke this week? Can you imagine Lardy Ramazani all of a sudden? And I know people, because I see it on other channels, will go, Lardy Ramazani's doing shit for Valencia. Couldn't give a shit. He wasn't doing shit for Leeds United. He's never done shit for Leeds United. Not once. A couple of summer appearances where he done quite. It is Ramazani's not being shit for Leeds United. So we'll judge him at Leeds United. I don't want to worry about what anybody, if we bring a new manager in, like we did Farke, well, he can't do it. Don't care. When I see it with my eyes for my club, then I'll talk about whether they can do it or not. So I'm willing to give it a chance. Ramazani, if he come back to Leeds, be like a brand new it'd be like a new signing, wouldn't it? Freeze our player, bring him in. What we're lacking? Quality up top. If we can bring him back, and I've seen people say there's no loan clause, and I've seen people this last week or so saying there is. If Daniel Farke goes, all of a sudden, maybe his Leeds United career is resurrected. And I think if you're against that and you're going to be negative towards that, then lost cause for me, because he ain't doing it at Valencia. A lot of players haven't done it somewhere. Don't mean he won't do it. Just finishing, don't you mean, Master Whitesnake? I hope you're well. I'm assuming you'll be struggling with this, Stevie boy. I'm assuming you'll be struggling with this. You know me, mate. Passionate guy, speak my mind, and yeah, he needs to go for me, man. Top Banana, tickle those likes for our Matty. He's cheering up. Cheers, Top Banana. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, 166 watching, 97 likes. Yeah, can we get it over 100? I'm sure we can. Please smash a like. Really appreciate it. 166. Fucking quality. Thanks so much, man. Brett, I don't believe your team is bottom three if tactics are manipulated game by game, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, game by game, if you look at game by game, yeah, we've been better in more games than not. Better in more games than not. But ultimately, that means no, does it? I mean, I've come away from games saying we didn't deserve that today. We didn't deserve that today. 6-7 games this season where we've been bloody brilliant at times. And I've sat there at Ellen Road, gone to some away games, and sat there going, bloody hell, this spell, this 10, 15, whatever it is, we're looking good. Reminds me of last season. But ultimately, we're not getting enough points. Not getting enough points. I think so, mate. I don't think they've extended it since. You did get a shout out, Mr. AG. No, I know. You know what it is, Paul? I hate it. I'm literally saying, hey, you don't deserve your job. And it's just not it's just not nice, is it? But it's football. You know, we pay a lot of money as fans. Like, I put a lot of money into the club. We're definitely entitled, aren't we, for this? But to voice his opinion on it. But I don't like it. I don't take any positive or anything out of speaking this way about a manager, about a person, human being. It's not nice at all. But it's football. It's savage, and all good. Actually, not melting done just yet. Leeds United would get better results in a 4-4-2. I think so, Randall. I think so, and that's why I think right now, without looking at anybody else, I've seen Marco Rose's name mentioned. I've looked at his credentials. He's been at some top clubs. His style of football sounds just exactly what I want to watch right now. Would it work? Who knows? Who knows? But right now, he's who I'd pick at 11 o'clock Sunday night. Maybe that'll change when I have a look into it. Who could we replace Goodmanson with? One of our 4 keepers, maybe. I would have taken that. Yeah, and his split opinion, Mike. I've seen people say that. I've seen people say we should have got Dyche. I really think we should have got Nuno at the time. I think Nuno would have kept us up and pushed us up the division. And I think anybody who says Nuno wouldn't have done it. I mean, our team was screaming out for Nuno. Look what he did at Wolves, setting up the back 5. You know, your 3 centre-halves and your 2 wing-backs. Bogle and Goodmanson, yeah, you're taking away from your wingers. But let's be fair, James hasn't been playing. Nonto's not been playing. Been playing Aronson and Okafor. Play the 3-5-2 and get Okafor as close to DCL as you can. And he's still on the pitch, which he is your best player. So get him next to DCL. Dyche would have played that. Nuno would have played that. AG, bro. Farke has to go now. Keeps doing the same setup away from home. Outcome just depends how good opponent is. Ponderous possession. Get you putting ponderous possession together. You just try to trip me up. I said it all right, didn't I? At the back, because we are scared of opposition, can't keep playing in fear. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I quite like the one moment in the game, AG, where Gabby Goodmanson drove fucking deep into there. Well, took the ball full length, didn't he, really? Cut it back. Guess what? No one believed in him. No one backed him. Decent pullback, to be fair. Just to go like the goals we. If that's them doing that, it's a tapping for their player, that. because no one will track runner. They had bodies in box and they get there and they cleared it. Nobody believed that Gabby Goodmanson were going to go on that run, get anywhere near being able to cross that ball. No belief, lack of work rate for me to bust a gut to get in there and edge at box as a midfielder, as a winger, as a whoever. When he makes that run, you need to get into the box. There were no one there for that. But yeah, definitely playing with fear. The pressure's mounting hugely. You can see it in the way they're playing. They're passing, they're playing safe, they try to keep it. Possession didn't feel like there was no possession with purpose today. We had a lot of the ball. Never felt like we were going to do anything with it. That's fear. That's been too scared to take a man on. That's been too scared to play that adventurous pass. Or maybe we've just not got the personnel for it. Tanaka will be off in Jan, can just see it. I don't think we'll let anyone big go in Jan. I think if we let anyone go, it'll be people like Pirro, maybe Gruev. But again, whoever we get rid of, we've got to replace because the squad's small as it is. Hey, Robert, have to say up the season, can't be going up and down. Yeah, you know what it is right now? I feel like we're going to become a yo-yo club. And that's backing us to come up next season, by the way, if we go down. So I don't want to become a yo-yo club. You know, I think the name of Leeds United, the club, the history, and I know that means fuck all. It's based on your team right now and whether you've got the right people in charge to even, you know, have that sort of tag. But we're too big to be a yo-yo club. You look at yo-yo clubs, you know, your Norwich of yesteryear, you know, your Burnley. They ain't that. No. Yeah, I just hope it's not... It's Marsh all over again. Farke must go one shot in the first half. Brendan Rodgers in. Like I say, I ain't gonna come in and say Brendan Rodgers no go like a lot of people are. Why not? Is he not better than Jesse Marsh? Javi Gracia, Sam Allardyce, Farke? Probably is, let's be fair. Yeah, he did. Buendia scored a beauty today, didn't he? A free kick. May as well have gotten rid of Nonto in the summer. It's clear the manager doesn't even rate him the world's worst kept secret. I agree, Mike. I still believe Mr. Whitesnake. That's great for you, and I wish I had your positivity, but I just think right now it's misplaced. I don't see how you can believe. For me, look at where we are in the division. Look at the result. Sorry, look at the fixtures we've got to come. I don't see how you can believe. I really don't. I think if we get beat 6-0 by Villa and 8-0 by City, you'll still say you believe because, you know, you're like me, you don't like to... there's a lot of negatives in world, mate, a lot of stuff that bring you down on daily, and football's as escape. I don't want to be brought down by it, but I think sometimes it can be quite easier when you're not, like you say, openly, Mr. Whitesnake, because you live in New Zealand, you're not bombarded with it. To find this, you've got to go looking for it. With me, it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? When I go to work tomorrow, there'll be some scum fan there who's going to rinse me for it. Do you know what I mean? I've just dropped my daughter off in Durham. Can you believe that? My daughter lives in Durham, my little girl. All her friends at school are Sunderland fans. She's a Leeds fan. You know, she's got all that to come. I couldn't, you know, she's here. I took her home today. And she's like, oh no, where is I showed at table? Sunderland, the flying iron way down with show. You know, it's just, I'm bombarded with it everywhere. You know, I do this on the side of working full time on a bloody building site and banter, and there's always some arsehole there who's ready to tell you how shit you are. So maybe it's just a little bit rawer for me because I'm just in thick of it. I wish I could sort of just sometimes park it and not look at it and just be like, yeah, I believe, fuck it, let's worry about Villa. I can't do it. I just think it's misplaced at the minute, that. Yeah, I know, mate, I know. James Justin was a proper replacement. Of course it was. Mental. Forest cheated. Look at their squad now. So why? Southgate is shite. So it's Farke at the minute, mate. Games and couldn't manage. Not giving us it, mate. Yeah. Jesse Marsh was Rose's assistant at Leipzig, then took his job. Yeah, he did, mate. Yeah. Well, Klopp would be the dream, Roger. Klopp would be the dream. But that's not happening. Danny Rumsey. Hey up, Danny. I haven't seen you in here for a long time, pal. Question for you, Matty. If you was offered 16th after 11 games of the start of the season, you would have taken it. This is still a championship side with a few additions. Regardless of what the side is, I would have taken 16th at the end of the season. 16th after 11 games. I see what you're doing here. 16 after 11 games sounds okay, right? But 16th after 11 games, just being battered by one of his relegation rivals, with Villa, who's just battered Bournemouth, then City away to come. So that 16th after 11 games will more than likely be 19th, 18th, 19th after 13, 14 games. And right now we can potentially change the direction of where the season's going. So 16th after 11, in that context, fine, whatever. But with what's to come, Danny, not feeling it, mate, because we won't be out of the relegation zone come 13, 14, 15 games, and then it could be too late. Put someone in now and you have 4 games for a manager who is going to not want to face it. Potentially. But they're not idiots. Anyone who takes that job knows how hard City's going to be, know how hard Villa's going to be, know all this, but they've got 2 weeks to implement, what they want to see going forward. Regardless where we get in, we're probably losing them games anyway. If we bring in anybody, I still think we're going to struggle against Villa. Still think we get battered against. Klopp comes in. Not a foregone conclusion we beat Villa. Still think we get pumped at City. But still beyond that, I think there's more chance. More chance. Yeah, he did well. He did do well. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Difficult one for me, Matt. It was always going to be a really tough season. Farke doesn't help himself with subs and selection at times, and wish we were not as passive. We're not sure we would get anyone better. Like I say, not sure you get anyone better, but it just comes down to you as a person, Enzo. It just comes down to you. Do you think Farke keeps Leeds up? If your answer's yes, like Mr. Whitesnake and like some others, then that's fine. There's no need to change because you don't know if he's going to be any better. But my opinion now is Farke with this team gets us relegated. What happens if we get another manager and he's worse than Farke? We get relegated. It's the same for me, but it might have a better ending than that. Ian Ward, to keep us up, Matt, you have to win games. I can't see the next win for a while. Yeah, me too. But that's regardless of manager, Ian. The set of players, the confidence is low, the fan base is nervy. Even if we get a new manager in, it's going to be a tough one. But maybe that new manager bounce that some clubs get, but we don't seem to. But say we get that, maybe, you've seen sides, go to a Villa, go to a City, and maybe spring a surprise. Maybe that new voice and that kick up the arse is something that's needed. But again, what do I know? Matty, mate, if you think West Ham finishes above you, who finishes below? Forest won't be there. How do you stay up? This is it, Ian. This is it. I think Wolves will finish bottom. I think Burnley get relegated, and then there's one more spot, and we're leading candidate for that spot right now, Ian. There's no two ways about it. Not sugarcoating out. Wolves will finish bottom. Burnley will finish 19th. 18th right now is Leeds United. It is Leeds United because West Ham and Norwich don't finish. Nottingham Forest don't finish below us. Fulham are playing poorly. West Ham and Forest aren't going to be. I don't think they're going to resurgence and end up in top 10. They're going to be in and around it. Brentford, maybe. There'll be a few teams. I think whoever finishes 18th, I think it's gettable. Is those places above? I don't think it's going to be a landslide. I think Wolves will be a big points gap from 20th to 19th. But I think 18th to 17th, it's going to be tight knit, and it might come down to end. Last few games of the season, which it probably will. I think you need 38, 39 points to stay up in that 18th spot. I don't think we get 38 or 39 points with Farke because that point per game ratio, for me, in a month's time, we're lacking. And I don't see where we make it up. Not for a long while. Yeah, of course it is, mate. Of course it is. Compare ourselves to Sunderland and how brave they are, whatever the game state we are in. But yeah, we are, mate. We really are. We really are. Hey, Rysel, Matt is 17 for staying up is a success. However, we have zero identity. We have zero tactics. In-game management is waffle. We always blame others. Call us emotional. Pisses me off. Yeah, he keeps calling the fan base emotional. You're going to get an emotional response when you're speaking like that. It's just, I don't know why you've got to say that. It's not an emotional fan base. Well, we are an emotional fan base, but have a bit more respect than that. We just voice his opinion. We're all emotionally and financially invested in this club. And your job as Leeds United manager is to keep us in division. That's your only job this season. And right now we're on the slide. And people say, we're out of relegation zone. Only because 2 established Premier League sides have done pants, which they're now not doing pants anymore, are they? So we will no longer be out of the relegation zone come 2 or 3 weeks' time. But yeah, zero identity, Rysel's a great point. What is our identity? What is Leeds United's style of play? I can't fucking tell you. Oh, wait a minute, I can. Pass. Go backwards. Pass. Lose the ball. Win it back later. They look. Pass to our. Go back. Pass. Lost ball. It's just shite. Keep possession for keeping possession's sake where you can, and don't even try and penetrate because they're not brave enough. for me, away from home, especially. Yeah, they did turn their nose about him. Yeah, I don't know. I like Marco Silva, mate, but yeah, he's struggling at the minute. He did make a worldie save. I think they said he may have been offside anyway, but yeah, made a great save and then sort of parried it out. Still looks dodgy for me though, but yeah, it was a great save early doors. Changing mid-December, the next 4 games are difficult and not what a new manager needs to bed in. I sort of understand what you mean by that, but there's more chance that a new manager in those tough games, something will spike. New manager bounce and all that shit. I've said it a few times already, but there's more chance that a new manager for me comes because right now Villa can plan for Leeds United over this 2-week break. Piece of piss. They know what a side's going to be. It's going to be fucking same side. It's easy tactics. A new manager comes in who's not played a game at Leeds United. They can look and go, he plays a 4-4-2 or he does this or does that. But nobody knows what this new guy, if there is one, come in. Nobody knows what this new guy does with Leeds United. No one has a clue because we've not seen it yet. Maybe that's enough to get a result against Villa. Maybe that's enough to go to City and stun fucking world at this point. So I think a new manager, the hardest 4 fixtures in the world, has more chance than Farke because it's ripping it up and doing it again. No one knows what that will look like. So for that alone, I want to see it happen. Yeah, that's part of it too, Wayne. Of course it is. Of course that's part of it. Ampadu's been shocking, switching off, just ball watching, not tracking his runner. They've all been culpable. He's the captain. You've got 2 experienced centre-halves. They need to be talking and communicating more. But yeah, we can blame Ampadu, and a lot of it has been on Ampadu this last 2 weeks. I don't want to say Biel's been shite, but I feel like it was a lot tighter at the back when Strauch were in there. Strauch's been getting absolute pelters for the 2 deflected goals that went in against Tottenham. Strauch's been getting absolute pelters for the worldie that was scored against him because he didn't push out far enough, quick enough, when, again, there was a space there that maybe Ampadu should have been occupying. I think Biel's been below Strauch's level. I thought he was all right against West Ham. I think I'd have played all right at centre-half against West Ham that night. They were poor. In my opinion, Strauch's a better player than Biel. And I said this, and that's poor recruitment again. But Farke signed off on Biel too. It tells you all you need to know that Farke is never mentioned. Yeah, of course. But I tell you what, Nige, if he becomes available and gets sacked, he will be the first name for any side now up near the top. I mean, let's be fair. If we sacked him now, we'd go Middlesbrough like that. And he'd probably get him up because he's great at that level. Matic and the centre-backs have runners from midfield, constantly having to watch runners. Our midfield don't track. No, they don't track back. In 2 games, we've conceded 6 goals, 5 of which were overrun by the opposition. Yeah, 2 right the war. Bogle doesn't get forward well with Brendan. Yeah, that side, it's definitely affected Bogle's form, 100%. Farke is naive and not learning, needs to go, but not good enough for Leeds United. Bet James Justin was bamboo. 100%, mate. 100%. Yeah. If that's what he's done, mate, he's got no chance, have you? Ampadu, so is he undroppable? He's been poor, nowhere near Sunderland or even Brentford's captains. He's been poor. I think he's been brilliant for opening 6 or 7 weeks. I think last 3 weeks he's been well below his level. It has coincided. I don't keep wanting to bring it up. Ampadu's forms coincided with a change at centre half. It just has. It shouldn't have done, but his form has been worse since Biel's come in. So maybe get Strout back in there first before you look at Ampadu and see if that changes the dynamic. It may not. Ampadu has to do better. He has to do better. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't think he will come out though, because I don't think he sees Stack as a 6, even though that's his best position in my opinion. It's Gruev or Ampadu, and I would rather keep Ampadu in at the minute, Tony, over Gruev. But I do think Ampadu needs to come out. I think it sets a wrong sort of vibe in dressing room that somebody's undroppable. Everybody should be droppable, whether you class it as dropping, rotating. In his instance, it would be dropping. It's not that I see Leeds losing every game. It's I see that don't see them winning any game. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't see where next win comes from. If I'm realistic, at home against Villa, anything can happen. Obviously, they're They're not prime Barcelona, are they? But yeah, it's going to be tough. We are still a championship side in most parts. Yeah. And we should be as a newly promoted side. We should still have, Sunderland have gone there and got 2 or 3 of their starts from last season and just absolutely smashed the window. Fair play to them. But, I do think that some of the players like your Bogles, your Amperus, your Rodons, I do think they were good enough for this level. I do. There is some I don't, your Aronsons and that, but I do think the ones that, are playing are good enough. They're not showing it at a minute though. Yeah, that I do, Ben. Yeah, 100% I do. Pretty sure Jurgen Klopp already has a list of managers he would recommend. Yeah, like I said, I think Marco Rose. I just think Red Bull. He's German. He's playing at a decent. Sorry, he's managed at a top level, and he's available, and he won't cost no longer because he ain't got a club. So yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll come in, mate. If we make that call. I think the 49ers plan financially for the probability of sacking Farke. The new manager will have money to spend in January. I hope so, PSF. We've got Perry playing with that massive throw and used it once for the counter attack. Not used it once. Yeah, we don't. It's his best weapon. It's his best weapon, and we've not been able to utilise it enough. 181 still watching. Honestly, wild for me. This. If any of you don't watch me regular, never seen me before, I appreciate you coming in. I know a lot of big channels get big numbers, and that ain't me. So I really appreciate it. Please smash a like. 111 likes so far. Please smash a like. Try and get to 150. That'd be brilliant. Fucking unreal. It's a testament to how badly Underwood did that Wilson is starting every game for Fulham. He was never for sale. True. Yeah, I'm not. I'd take Thiago Motta. Hell, I'd take Bruno. Funny. Yeah, it should have been. Shows Farke as his favourites and good boys. No room for the Mavericks. Yeah, honestly, Maverick is the word, mate. For me, he's not a lover of his Mavericks, is he? Obviously, I understand this is a massively negative stream. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. And to be fair, the chat's really good. There's no bickering and fallout in chats. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Been a decent space. It always is on here. Great community I've got here. So anyone new to it, we welcome you with open arms. But I am surprised at how many people are just saying the same as me. Yeah, he needs to go. I kind of thought there'd be a bit more of a tussle. I know it's been 50-50 before this game, so I knew it wouldn't be 50-50. I knew it'd be more out than in. But yeah, there aren't many comments, if any, saying, they want to keep him. Odd one, really. Yeah, top banana as always. Thanks, mate. Tickle those likes for our Matty. Did you see Dan James? This boy's good. Yeah, Julian, I want Dan James to do so well. And I thought when he came on, he really gave us some, I think he should have brought him on earlier. Cutting to his left foot, really good save by their keeper. I thought Dan James definitely looked lively, and we need him to be. We need him to have a, he's not going to be a Royal Wellington Championship, but people writing him off because he's at, let's be fair, he's not been fit all season. So you are very talented. Cheers, Paul. Thanks, man. I'm not too sure I agree, but thank you. No top player or up-and-coming players would come and play for Farke. His reputation must precede him. I think there's parts of that, yeah, like I said, mate, yeah, 100%. Obviously, I'm behind on chat. I'm always 20 minutes behind chat, so these are stuff I've said earlier, and yeah, obviously we agree on that to a degree. Carlos Corberan, not for me now. Struggling at Valencia. I like the guy, but yeah, I'm not looking there for me. Thiago Motta, I see a lot of. Inigo Perez, can't say it because I don't know who he is. I'd have to have a look. I don't know. Be interesting to see. He's not adapting to the play of the game. He never changed the system. Yeah, it's like he's wrote down a lineup, a style of play, whatever that is, and a formation that no matter who we play, that's his formation. That's his. And I understand people will say, yeah, but he's got to be stubborn. He's got to believe in his methods. Because if he just changes it willy-nilly and flip-flops every week, how's he going to get him playing that brand of football? How's he going to get him to believe in his philosophy? I get that. But fuck me. You can't, one size don't fit all. One size does not fit all. We need to see adaptability. We need to see that you're learning from your mistakes. The biggest red flag so far this season were Brighton. I was at the Emirates at Arsenal. I was at the Amex. It were like fucking identical with the performances. We'd have been 3-0 down at half-time against Brighton if they'd have had the shooting boots on in first half. We got away with one getting out there 3-0 for me. So he hasn't learned from the lessons in the short term, let alone the long term from previous seasons in Premier League to now. It's shocking. Easy teasy. Look, Farke does not help himself. He's so stubborn. He doesn't have the quality, but doesn't have the quality to play out from the back. So play more direct. He doesn't have the players for the correct roles. So change formation. Tick, tick, pal. Yeah. Willie, when he was fit, he was only used him for a minute in his last game. Now he's not fully fit. Remember Rutter and now Stack. Yeah, exactly. I hope to God he's got a niggle. I don't want him to be injured, but I hope to God he want a fitness problem with him and not an actual personal issue because I can't be asked for that again. Yeah. Yeah, again though, I don't get how you can keep him from now till the championship and it be a nice environment for anybody. You know what I mean? I don't see it. I just don't. I mean, get rid of him now, bring someone else if we still go down, have a conversation. But I'm joking. But I don't see how he can stay now and us get relegated. It'd be toxic. I don't think at Leeds. I don't at most clubs, Norwich they're a yo-yo club. Norwich were different. They were always going down. I think at Leeds it's different. I think if you take Leeds down, it's going to be a struggle to have the fans on side that they believe you're going to get him back up, even though his record, would prove that he's the man to promote sides. I just think if you come down with us, turgid season, you're going to struggle to get back in for me to do it again. No point in bringing in flair players for Farke to tell him not to play with any flair because we won't be embarrassing opponents. You get it, Boss Nass. That's how I sort of feel with that. We can bemoan missing out on some of his top targets, but maybe there is a little bit of that in it. Maybe there's a little bit of just thinking, sod that. I heard the interview where they were telling Jorginho Rutter to stop being so flamboyant on the pitch. I want to be entertained. Football's, and I understand it's money and every box has got to be ticked and you've got to do this right and that right, German efficiency and all that stuff. But let the boys play when they've got the ability to play. Prime example is if Willie Gnonto and Dan James were fit and firing, in my opinion, they are second and third choice now till end of season under Farke. I now think he thinks Aronson is worthy of a spot over them two because he does the defensive duties better, apparently, which is a myth, by the way. I've looked at the stats in the previous video months ago. It's a load of tosh. He's minimal. But for the output you get going forward, Dan James and Gnonto, smash him out of the park. He was phenomenal against West Ham, and I give him his flowers for that. But he's not the guy. He's not the guy. Why do you think they're keeping money back for the new manager? They might be doing that, might they? They might be. They might have kept money back for January. They might have thought we've got 15 million there. We missed out on Ali Wilson. It is what it is. We'll keep that till January. I don't know. I'm under the impression there isn't much money kicking around. But if I sack him, should pay him off. If they want to bring a manager in who's at another club, have to pay compensation. January, I don't know how much money's there to do all that. So I kind of think if he goes, it'll be a man, a man that's out of work at the minute. So for me, it's Marco Rose. Yeah, you're asking too much there, mate. Thomas Tuchel's England manager, so that ain't happening. Farke complained about how Ramazani loses possession and doesn't track back. His stats in champs, when played, he did track back. And what did Okafor do today? Passes straight to him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his stats, he did track back. Ramazani worked as hard as anyone on pitch. He lost the ball because he was trying to make something happen. What we're talking about now, not having anyone that can make anything happen. So what we'll do is we'll play Brendan Aronson out there because he works really hard. But guess what? He gives the ball away all the time. All the time. So, yeah, the Ramazani thing will bother me forever if I don't see him pulling a Leeds United shirt again because I want him to prove people wrong. There's a lot of people in this space as well that I would love. I don't cash receipts. It's not my style, but I would love to cash a few receipts to a few people because I think Ramazani is a lot better than he gets credit for. But I can't say anything because until I see it again at this level, then it'll always just be a fugazi. But I pray to God every day. I said to my son today, Theo, about Farke, he's probably going to get sacked at this rate. It's not going well. I hope he does. I said, why do you hope he does? Because we lost today? No, because he got rid of Ramazani. My favourite player. He's got a poster of Ramazani on his wall. Never forgiven him for that. I think because he does somersaults, he loved him for that reason. He don't really pay much attention, but he does, Baz. He does. Yeah, Jukey, I get it. And I always felt we were going to get round to this point, and he hadn't been sacked yet. Maybe he don't. And there was definitely conversation to get rid of him in summer because I didn't think it was a guarantee we'd stay up. But I thought he should have a crack, and I thought it was still possible we could stay up. And it's turned out to be the opposite on it. So, in my opinion, now he needs to go because we won't stay up. But yeah, a lot of people said be ruthless, and we weren't. I'm glad we weren't, which sounds fucked at this point, but I'm glad we weren't ruthless. I'm glad he had a go. I'm glad, he's had a go, and it's got to that point now where I no longer feel that way, so it's got to go. Marco Rose was linked to the Juventus job before Spalletti got the job, so he's well thought of. There you go. And Bosnas, mate, your football worldwide. So if he's getting linked with Juve job, linked with it and lose out to Spalletti, fair enough. It is what it is. Then, like I say, highly thought of. And the fact he plays a 4-4-2 diamond and he's an aggressive presser is his style of player. Give me some of that, please. Give me some of that. Hey up, mate. It's been a while. Where have you been? I was there today. Definitely time for a change. What about Brendan Rodgers? Dirty Leeds. I'd be all for that. Again, people say no. But yeah, I'd have that. A lot of people didn't want Nuno. A lot of people didn't want Dyche. They'd keep us up. They'd keep us up, in my opinion. They'll keep the sides that are up, that they're at up, but they have got better players than us. West Ham and Forest have better players than us, so they will keep those sides up, in my opinion. But I think we'd have a better chance with Dyche. I think we'd have a better chance with Nuno, 100% with Nuno, at keeping this Leeds United squad up. Lance right about, you don't need to feel guilty with sport Leeds and if Farke's doing badly. It's not. Yeah, no, I get that. I just hate being negative, but it's hard. I don't know what else to be. I can't be fake. So it's a very negative stream, and like I say, it doesn't sit right with me. Sort of kicking someone when they're down because he'll be hurting like, well, Farke. He'll be gutted. He won't be able to sleep tonight. I hope he doesn't to a degree. I want him to feel this. I want him to feel, the wolves at the door. Because ultimately, if he's still in the job, he needs to know that he needs to kick up the arse. He needs to turn it round. Pressure means you care. I'm sure he does care. But he will be hurting. The lads will be hurting. Ultimately, we will be here beyond the lads, beyond the manager, beyond the owners. So yeah. Dan James is an incredible player, Julian. Yeah, I hope he can prove it at this level. That's me off. See you later, Brett. Take care, my mate. Although you probably went half an hour ago because I am behind. And thanks for joining. Yeah, memberships are in the description if anybody wants to. I'm not ready to say go just yet. Hey up, John. Just want to see a change of formation away from home. Yeah, you know what it is though, John. If I want to say to you now, he's not going to change formation, or he comes out in a press conference tomorrow and goes, anybody who says change formation, it's not happening. 4-3-3, these are my players, like it or lump it. Then would you be Farke out? Because for me, that's what's going to happen. We've done this a lot. I remember with Bielsa, he's over my shoulder there. Absolutely love the guy. When he got to the back end of it, all I was saying is the man for job. Just please don't play Tyler Roberts. Please just change. Please just make us more solid. Just tweak it a bit. Ultimately, it wouldn't change. We'd still leak goals. It's like being in a bad relationship in it for years and years and hoping the man will change or the woman will change, whichever way around it is, and just knowing they're not gonna, but you love them, so you just can't continue. It's madness. You can't change. Someone who's as stubborn as he is, it's not going to change. Need to drop players that don't track back. Yeah, easy teasy. That's got to be a bare minimum. His effort, tracking your runner, showing up for badge, and if you're not, for me, you shouldn't be on team sheet week after. I also think as soon as we go down, we won't be coming back up as long as 4. Oh, wow. I'm a little bit more positive on owners than others. I think the only thing the owners have done wrong were appointing Underwood. I think that was too risky. I think that the learning on the job, it's not ideal. They didn't have great mentors in Radrazani for me and Orta in the football world. I'm not against the 49ers like a lot of people are. 100 million quid. It's not what it was 10, 15 years ago, but it's still a decent chunk of change. He wasn't backed fully, but for me, he was still backed. Still got 10 signatures he wanted. They've recruited well enough over the last 2 seasons to get us up. I'm not against the 49ers as much. I know I'm not saying you are fully, Mike, but there's a lot of people who don't rate the 49ers, and they're definitely culpable. They definitely haven't done everything right. But they've got a little bit more rope for me than what Farke have at the minute. But we will disagree on that. Will a lot of us. Evening, Matty stayed up just for you. Cheers, Mike. Where have you been for last hour? Cheers, pal. I want a British manager, Brendan Rodgers. That's fine, man. That's fine. Is that Gary O'Neill is available? You lot should go for him, or McKenna from Ipswich, as it seems he wants to move. Yeah, McKenna. I liked him in Premier League. Liked him. I like what he was doing even when I'm in Premier League. Even though they went down, I liked him in Championship. I haven't paid too much attention to him this season. I think he stayed on too long at Ipswich. He could have had a decent move before. Now he's turned jobs down in past, and yeah, he might just stagnate Championship now if he's not careful. But I think he's a really good manager. Just don't get signing mediocre players when you're wanting to improve the stadium unless there's some kind of miracle way going down. Rodgers is shit. I don't get that, pal. I don't get that at all, me. So he's not going to be for everyone. I don't think he's shit. But then again, I'm not that bothered. But yeah, I think he's better than Farke. I think he'll get more points with his lead side than what Farke will. But again, I don't really want to get into names because you'll get people say absolutely no chance. But again, until I see someone, in the dugout at Leeds and it's not working, I can't really call it. Rich Sullivan, evening, Matt. Really disappointed today. Can see Farke getting sacked, but can't see anyone coming in and getting this group of players winning. We're seriously lacking both form and quality. Yeah, form can turn around. The quality, you've got to bridge that gap with a will to win, with a dressing room that's fired up to take to the pitch. I ain't sure Farke's got that in him now. I think Farke's really good when he's got the best players in the division. Obviously, who wouldn't be? I think he's struggling at the minute to get the best out of players that maybe aren't out of the level, or if they are of the level, we're pretty much where we are for a reason. A bottom end Prem side. I don't think he's good enough to squeeze every last bit of potential out of those players, in my opinion. But there will be somebody else, Rich, who can. There will be. There's got to be. It's got to be. Evening, Colin, out, buddy. Yeah, I do remember Leicester last season, but I've also remembered him winning an FA Cup. I've also seen him nearly win title with Liverpool, and he's done other stuff well. Done well at Celtic in past. He's done stuff well, but yeah, last season at Leicester, but fuck me, like it was a shit show. Do you know what I mean? So I ain't gonna hammer him for a poor season somewhere or a poor couple. Everyone's got baggage. Well, me, we've all got baggage. We've all had a poor run of form, a poor job we've gone on. So yeah. Rodgers took Leicester down with all the talent they had, plus some players on podcasts have come out and said, yeah, but I think there'll be a few people come out and say this about Farke. Like I say, yeah, like I say, I'm not really too bothered at the minute. Who it is, I just don't think our guy's the man. Mate, I was banging the drum for Farke out last night, up Liam Moore. I'll keep on banging it. We look absolutely clueless away from home, and it's only a matter of time before that creeps into home form. Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's a saving grace at the minute that at home we've been doing well. I know you look at it again. You don't get that penalty against Everton opening day. That's 2 more points down. West Ham, we made a hard fist of it towards back end of the game. I agree, Liam. It will drip feed into it. It just will. You can't get battered away from home and then expect, but at home next week we'll be all right. We'll keep a clean sheet and win comfortably. That ain't going to happen. Yeah, maybe it will do. Of course it does, Richard. New voice, new direction. I say nothing. Southgate, George Bush, golden generation of England talent. I don't think it even needs a magician to solve our issues. It just takes someone with the ability to adapt and to motivate the players, because from what I'm seeing, the players look, 100%, mate. Mike, the things he says about our fan base being emotional every week does my head in. Must take us as fools. Yeah, I agree. We'll get results at home. I don't care either way. Keep Farke or not. I would lean keep, but wow, need to upgrade that front line in January. A lot of money needs to be spent there, doesn't it? A lot more money than potentially bringing in a man who can keep us up without spending that money. Depends on what 49ers think. Once we're in that relegation zone, we are not getting out. That's if we keep Farke, I think we fall in it and we'll still got to get out, mate. But I've got to believe, because for me, regardless, mate, we are going to be in that relegation zone within at some point in November. For me, it's happening, or early December. It's happening. There's too many tough games coming up when I don't see us getting points, and I have to believe we'll be able to dig our way out of it. But yeah, we just can't get cut adrift. But I do think we dip in there, yeah, in coming weeks. Once you've called the fan, I mean, he hasn't proper gone out and been at him, Cox. He said this a few times, but I think the more he says it, when he looks to, when he's underperforming as a manager, when he keeps calling us emotional, I don't know if it's the most hurtful thing they could say about a fan base, but it's definitely grating on me now. I mean, I am emotional. Look at me. I'm a fucking mess. I am emotional, but, you know, I'm in my right to be emotional. You know what I mean? It's a big part of his life. Of course we're emotional. We give a shit. That's why. Would you rather us not be emotional and just be fucking robots and just pay us money and not say no? You probably would. It's not the way the world works. Home form is definitely going down the toilet for the next 2 months. I am worried that under Farke it'll be brutal. Matty, were you buzzing when Metcha scored? First thing I thought of you. Second thought, can Leeds hold the lead? Yeah, when Metcha scored, I was buzzing, mate. I've said Anna Roger, you'll remember, that's why you're probably saying it, that at one point I thought we had our best, before we signed DCL, our best striker was at the club before we kicked the ball. You know, Pido and Metcha, I were like, I back these to do okay. Pido's not getting an opportunity, rightly or wrongly. I sort of get it. We do play along, apart from the games where we should play along and we don't. We play along in most games. We go direct at times, and Pido falls short of that. I thought Metchi did well today when he scored that goal. That looked like a striker who knows where the back of the net is. He hasn't got no proof to that. There's no substance to that when you look at his career as a whole. At youth level, he was brilliant, but the way he took that goal, I don't think DCL does that. That step over, touch to his right. What a beautiful goal that. But we don't really even need to look at that now because of how the game went. But going forward, I would start Metchell over DCL. But I'm a big DCL fan. But I don't think he's got that finish in him currently. And I think when we've been lacking up top, and we had naff all chances really in that game, and we still got a goal down to that brilliance of Metchell. So fair play to him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, always. Tintin, when he is sacked, be too late. Even if they sacked him mid-morning, Tintin, is that what you think? We're all going on a championship tour. White for Steve. Our new manager can have an effect. Look at where West Ham have improved with their manager change. Course. I mean, they've got better players again, but the new manager bounce. We have to believe in summer, and that's what I'm believing in. Up now on match of the day. Yeah, great watch. I remember when Yapstam used to get slaughtered for passing side to side and having the most possession. It was boring and ineffective. There's no difference between this Reading team and us right now. Fair point, mate. Fair point. Midfield was a bunch of tree trunks today, not one that can progress the ball going forward. Bogle had a shocker. Yeah, Bogle had a shocker. It happens from time to time, doesn't it? Your best player, can have a poor game. I ain't going to hammer Bogle. He's been one of our best players for the last, since Farke's been there. The midfield, we're playing. For me, we're playing with 3 DMs, and we're conceding 2 or 3 goals a game. You may as well switch it up now and get another player, another body in that, further up the pitch, and just play with 2 in midfield. For me, because playing 3 DMs, you're sacrificing going forward. And I know Longstaff and Stack somehow have topped or almost topped chance created and big chances made and stuff at points this season. I don't know if that's because they've been taking corners and stuff. I don't know, but to the eye test, it hasn't felt like they've been that creative as a team and them personnel. But they have. The stats have proved that. But we're conceding goals now. I want to see a midfielder, crashing that box when Goodmanson pulls that back. I want to see a midfielder busting a gut to get there. The gap between the midfield and DCL, the gap between the midfield and the wingers, the gap between the wingers and DCL or Metch or whoever it is, it's too much. It's too much. They need to be closer. We need to get another body up that pitch because there's no point playing with 3 DMs if you're conceding 3 goals anyway. And they're not tracking the runners. You wouldn't believe we had 3 DMs in there. And people might say Longstaff's not a DM. For me, he is. For me, he is, he's number 8. He scored goals at Newcastle, but for me, he's a battler. He gets stuck in, he wins the ball back, he tries to progress it. He does, but he isn't a sort of high end 8 up the field who's going to score you 5, 6, 7 goals a season. I just don't see that in this Leeds side. I see it as a 3 being very defensive minded, which is fine if we're keeping clean sheets. And then, it ends 0-0 and we can go, yeah, we're lacking up top. It's ending 0-0 again because we haven't got the quality up top. I can't be more not having a top striker or a number 10 or a winger when we're conceding 3 goals a game, like I said earlier. Just can't get him in straight and give him a chance. Oh, right now, Roger, I do right now, yeah. Yeah, I do. Strauch is always a scapegoat, which is a shame as he's been here for Yonks. Be all his worst by far. Yaka's a poor man's Harry Maguire. Yeah, don't want to hammer Yaka too much, but Pascal for me should come back in. Do the 49ers have ambition to stay in this league? If so, Farke and Underwood at fault too. Mate, we were 8 points above the drop after a tough schedule start. The fixtures got easier and we are now 1 point above the drop. Time to go, Levy. That's it, you see. We were doing really, really well. You look at it on a whole, people will go, yeah, but this game, but look at where we've gone from where we were. You bang on there. You bang on. It was all good. We were doing really well and we're not no more. And I don't think it changes. If you think it changes, great. Get me back to the Bournemouth performance. Get me back to the Everton performance. Get me back to the Newcastle performance. That 0-0 I was talking about. Let's get that. Clean sheet. Where's that gone? Where has that gone? 100%, Ina. 100%. Yeah. Sack the 49ers. A lot of people not happy with that too. Gloves are off, sweet science. Matty, keep the fight up. However, last season you was on the easy B. It's time Farke went this season. It's time Farke went. He isn't a great manager, but you're also not a great judge of manager. I don't know what that means, mate. I just say how I feel, mate, in the moment. With easy B, it's time Farke went. This season, it's time Farke went. He isn't a great manager, but you're not a great judge of man. I'm not a great judge of much, mate, by your accounts, pal. I'm not too sure what that means, but I'm a bit slack. Farke in the Premier League, 60 games played, 9 wins, 10 draws, 41 losses. Again, the context of that is Norwich, a lot of them at Norwich. But yeah, his record, if you just look at that, poor. Of course it is. But yeah, I don't like bringing the Norwich into conversation because there were no chance they were ever going to stay up for me. Look at the players they had. We've got a better team than Norwich. We have, what anyone says. Yeah, poor leadership. We have no leaders at the club. Mike, I thought we did. Go back 3 weeks. I thought we had plenty. Rodon, Longstaff, Amperd. I thought we had plenty. Now it looks like, they're all spineless. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's what I will say. No, thank you to. Championship next season if we carry on like a squad matter. Yeah, Eddie, it looks that way, doesn't it, pal? It looks that way. Bring back Dave Ockaday. Michael, at one point, Okafor passed it straight to Gibbs White. Aronson gets so much hate, it's crazy. No, he isn't a starter, but he shouldn't be the scapegoat. Our midfield was so bad today. Yeah, I don't rate Aronson at all as an attacking player. I give him his flowers when he has a good game. I definitely think there's been worse performers than him today. 100%. And yeah, he shouldn't be a starter. And that ain't his fault, Michael, is it? It's not his fault he's getting picked. That's not his fault. He's just giving it best he can. So, yeah, but he is a scapegoat a lot of time. But yeah, when he plays poorly, people highlight it. We buy Giants to get player from the back. Farke is too reactive. Yeah, reactive. He needs to be proactive. 100%. Not a negative stream, Matt. It is a stream of fans venting their dissatisfaction with our current form. Yeah, cheers, Mr. Whitesnake. Feels very negative, but it is what it is, isn't it, pal? Chat is friendly. Only reason happy clappers are still clapping. The mad bastards. Oh, God. Don't know what you mean, negative chat. Feeling a lot better now than at the start. That shows how down his club, mate. Yeah, well, like I say, I feel negative. Talking about sacking a manager feels bad, but yeah. Matty Perez is good, mate. Hardly spent money. Really? Say, I'd have to look into him. Not too sure. Remember, he's a player at Bilbao. Fair enough. Pablo's the dream. in maybe 5 or 6 years, Mr. Whitesnake, I'd love that. I'd love what a romantic story that'd be. Right now, I think you're just feeding him to feeding him to sharks, are you really? Yeah, I don't. It's too big a job for him. It's too big a job. Yeah. Afraid if we get relegated, those money grabbers will sell Harry just like that. Oh, little Sparrow. With that, I get where you're coming from. I think if we got relegated, he'd probably start in Championship. I think he'd probably start. I think he'd be playing games now if we were still in Championship. What in the hell is a defensive winger? Did give Farke more salary Rafinha, you still haven't. Yeah. Paul Mortson, smash a like for our boy Matty. Yeah, honestly, it's been class. 126 likes, 150 people in building. How good's that? I'd love it if we get to 150 likes, but if not, I'm buzzing with this. Thanks so much for everyone that supported me tonight, class. Yeah, 126 likes, 24. Can I have a quick maths? 24 away from 150. If you haven't smashed a like, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. Michael says, literally started Nonto and James and still got hammered. Not sure why people think these two come in and suddenly we are good. Might get more going forward, but we'll get blitzed the other way. Michael, what do you mean we'll get blitzed the other way? We're getting blitzed with Aronson on pitch. Nonto and James aren't lazy. If you look at the stats, Brendan Aronson makes less than one tackle more a game and less than one interception more a game than Nonto and James does. It's like point something of a tackle, point something of an interception. He got the assist today. Fair play, did well in that instance. Other occasions, he fluffs his lines there and he doesn't play the correct ball in for Metcha. So, no complaints in that instance. He lost the ball a lot today, but so did many others. He ain't a scapegoat in this game for me. But Nonto and James are far better players than Aronson, and I think not that much difference going back either. And we're getting hammered with Aronson playing, mate, so I don't agree with that, to be honest. Stephen Gerrard out of work and Brendan Rodgers. Well, they're the names that will get brought out in the next few days, so get ready for that, Leeds fans. Tom White, players look like they have got weak mentality. Def a good time for a freshen up of manager. Yeah, it's got to be. Got to be. Maybe Steve don't watch foreign football, so don't know what. Ramazani was punished for his performance at Derby last Christmas, a performance where a lot of people were poor. And I'm sure he came off a bench, Richard, for that. Sure he come off the bench. I'd like Thursday, K up Scott, but a realistic target. Gary O'Neill, I don't mind. Kept an absolute woeful Bournemouth side up. But to be honest, I'm not convinced it's fully Farke's fault. Squads. Yeah, you know what it is, Scott? I don't know if you just caught it now or you've seen it all, but I'm not bothered whose fault it is now. It doesn't matter to me whose fault it is. I don't think Farke can keep us up. I ain't sure if that'll change under a manager, but I'm willing to give it a try as a fan. I'd rather see somebody else give it a crack because I now don't have faith that Farke can keep us up. We know there's a lot of people at fault. For me, there's not one singular person or group that's at fault. Everyone's culpable, even down to players, because that's a turgid performance again for your travelling supporters and your fans that aren't well watching. Should be playing better than they did today, but I'm not bothered whose fault it is now. That people will talk about that, but for me, he isn't the man for the job. We will get relegated the way we are going. And that's how I look at it now, Paul. But yeah, great point. Oddai, if Leeds recruitment can only spend 100 million, why so much of the budget is on defence? I'm sure they know their budget is because they felt all footballs in attacking positions are up. Maybe, like I say, he's got his defenders and his midfielders who he wanted, so they're happy with that investment. They spent a lot of money in those areas. 9-10 million on Justin James, who's a backup fullback. A lot of people have bemoaned that sign and saying, "Oh, a lot of wasted money." Gabby Goodmanson falls on his back at West Ham. If he's out for a few weeks or whenever he's injured for a few weeks, you're happy you've got someone of James's caliber. Today, don't bring him on when he should have done. So that were odd. But yeah, the top end of the pitch is where the Wonga gets spent in it. But I think they looked at DCL and Metcha. Metcha's played for Germany. DCL's played for England and scored goals at this level. They've looked at that and thought, that'll save us a bit of money there. If one of them two comes good, we've cracked it. It's still early days, but yeah, spending 25-30 million, would it have guaranteed as we are now? If we'd have signed a £30 million striker, would he have had 4, 5, 6 goals by now? There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee one of them. We've spent £30 million on players. You know, Rodrigo, Rutter, who's taken a while to bed in, and some of them haven't even worked. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, imagine Johnny Housen comes in as caretaker. Would Farke stay and try and get us back up? Surely he'd realise they'd sacked him if he was. Yeah, I don't think he gets. I don't think he can stay and get us back up. I think it'll be too toxic by that point. Mike Bassett, Nuno and Dyche will 100% keep us up. They can get the best out of the squads, unlike Farke. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I'd love someone to come in and totally just, switch it up. Like I say, Marco Rose, 4-4-2 diamond, aggressive press, done it at a decent level. I'd go for that in heartbeat, me right now as I am. Farke doesn't deserve any sympathy, says Mike. He didn't deserve backing in the summer, has absolutely no pedigree whatsoever. DF is lucky to still be in the job. Wow. Oh, it's breaking my heart. We think we might go down again and all the highest, but yeah, you know what it is? It feels wasted, doesn't it? You know, those celebrations that will stay with me for a lifetime with my little boy on my shoulders. You know, you've seen celebrations, you've been there, you've done that. You know, I've got them as my intro as well because it just means so much to me and one of my sons there with me that day, and unreal. The thought of just going back down again after all that. You know, it's so hard for us to get up out of that bloody division. It's so difficult, yet we make it look so easy in his attempt to get back down there. Just like scoring a goal, we make it look so hard. It's so difficult for Leeds United to score a goal. It's so easy to concede one, though. Zero confidence in the Niners, says Aina. He does wait too long, Julian. He does wait too long. His subs are appalling. Do you think when 150 mil was mentioned, they were thinking in dollars? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Or what, 150 million including wages and agent fees, you know? When will people realise our owners are pure asset strippers? I don't even want to go there with that. Having a failed experiment and continuing to repeat the experiment, expecting different outcome is the definition of insanity. I love that saying, mate. Farke keeps failing to adapt. Keeping him would be a mistake. Yeah. I'm going to end this poll now. I'll have a look how many people's on poll. 207 votes on poll. Crazy numbers. Thanks so much. Yeah, madness. 75 people would sack Farke now in the break. 11% would keep him till end of the season. So there's 20 people, just over 20 people would have kept till end of the season. I wish I had your optimism. Give him the Villa game. 14% have said Villa game. So yeah, 75% have said the sack him out of 207 votes. Yeah, thanks so much for getting involved in that. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, it is definitely after today gone down from what it was in previous games. We are already down, says David. Nah, I can't go there. I can't go there with that. Ian, I don't think so. I can't remember where he's gone now. Wayne's on holiday, and it's going to be on his channel. He can't do it all. So only option is we do it on mine. And if I'm honest, nah, we'd do it Tuesday, but it's supposed to be on his channel, and then we'd probably miss a week with being international. So I'm thinking, let it go on his channel week after. We can talk about the game, and then we can talk about the lead up to the following game. But yeah, I don't think we will with Wayne being away, mate. But yeah, definitely about the week after, and you can all laugh at me while I'm on your stream. Not yet. I think he's lost potentially some. But I haven't looked at the team yet. They're not tracking the men. They're not doing what they should be doing in terms of effort. For me, there's definitely a lack of effort. But I are looking at the team. I haven't looked at him yet. Little Spanner gone. He's lost the dressing room. I haven't got there yet. So maybe not that bad, but it's getting there, isn't it? It's getting there. Farke keeps telling the media that we don't have a quality squad, can't see the players. Yeah, to be fair, that is something that I've mentioned a few times on here as well, Top Banana. 100%. You know, you keep getting told you're not good enough. You know, the quality at the top end of the pitch isn't there. Imagine being DCL, you know, Okafor or whoever, Aronson or James or Nonto, thinking as manager, don't think we're good enough. You know, it's not good, is it? I think if you guys are going to change managers, it has to be done sooner rather than later. Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Exactly, Mr. Whitesnake. Exactly. If it wasn't, if there were no emotion attached, then no one would give a shit. And guess what? None of players would be getting paid money they're getting paid, would they? The only squad worse than ours is Burnley, and we can't beat them. Little Sparrow, right now, that's how I feel. I didn't feel like that a few weeks back. Right now, that's how I feel. Yeah, 100%. I've said some stuff in here that probably looks daft now, saying we've got better players than these and them, but when when you're feeling good, you're feeling good, and you say as it is. Yeah, I think we have the worst squad bar Burnley. No, and Wolves. I think Wolves and Burnley have a worse squad than us, Little Sparrow. So I think we have the third worst squad. Yeah, I think so as well. They didn't look happy, but it reminded me of Luke Ayling. Looked like deer in headlights, didn't they? Last time when he were at the City Ground, we need a manager to come in and sort the defence and work the best formation to make the most out of that formation. Big Sam always did that. Has a name for a long ball we can't pass through. Oh, don't say Big Sam. Don't say Big Sam. Ampru is letting us down as captain. Ampru has never been a quality player, but I think he's good enough for the Premier League. Just it's where we're at. I don't think Ampru's a championship player. I think he's really shit at the minute, poor form, but I think he is a low-end Prem player in my eyes. And he's been at Sheffield United and been a low-end Prem player and got relegated. He's been at Leeds, a low-end Prem, unfortunately, right now, player, and may get relegated at Leeds. But he's definitely been off it. Yeah, we do need a 10. But and to be fair, Farke's only won for a couple of years now. It's not that Farke is a bad manager fundamentally. It's just that he can't make the best of the players. Instead, he boxed his tactics. He just needs to learn. He's not learning. Where he's not a Richie, I don't know, and I want to know. I thought James were all right today. I thought he looked very lively when he came on. He looked really good in my opinion. Yeah, they have, Richie. They have. Nonto has gone down the same rabbit hole as Ramazani. I hope not, Baz. I hope not. Pablo till the end of the season, bring Marcelo back. Pablo, honestly, I would love Marcelo Bielsa to come back. But yeah, Pablo is the dream in a few years. Stephen Ollis show, I hope. I've watched a lot of Leeds games with the bridge and the gap content, and I think it's Farke's refusal to adjust tactics in game is a big stumbling block. Yeah, it's Steve, 100%, Steve. It really is. Like I say, sides have gone down. Sorry, sides have stayed up with worse squads than Leeds United. It's not the worst squad that's ever played in Premier League. We feel like it is right now. It's not. We've seen games this season when we played bloody brilliant. We've looked really good at times. Farke has got some stuff right. He has. But his refusal, like you say, in game to be able to switch a formation. You see Regis Labrie at Sunderland. Something's not working. He'll switch formation. He don't mind making earlier subs, earlier than 70 minutes, like we tend to do. Yeah, it's just not working now. It's just not working now. What a great finish. Yeah, I think so too, mate. If you haven't already, tickle those likes for our Matty. Yeah, honestly, 141 likes, mental. 147 still watching. If you're one of those that hasn't smashed a like, I'd love it if you could get to 150 before we ended. That'd be class. Thank you. I saw it come when we were well beaten by Wednesday. That was a big wake up call for me. And yeah, we did improve a little bit after that. We did, but yeah, writing's been on wall for a while, hasn't it? I honestly, I sing from the same sheet as you. People, who do we get in? Who do we get in? I've put Marco Rose's name out there. There'll be loads of people talk about him next few days and talk. We're going to be linked to everybody now. Everybody. But yeah, it's not down to us as fans. You're in your own right to say, I don't think he's good enough right now. But then when someone says, yeah, but who is? That ain't down to me. That's down to the recruitment. That's down to, which maybe they'll get it wrong. Maybe they'll get it wrong because they've been shy at other stuff, haven't they? Signing players. They've missed out on some top targets. They've brought some players in that some people don't like. Are they good enough? It's still early days. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's down to them. A lot more knowledge than us fans, aren't there, when it comes to who's the right man for the job. So that's down to them and their connections. It's not down to us, but we are entitled to say, I don't believe in him no more. Get me a better solution. That's where I'm at. As the aim is to stay up for us, there are eventually 3 worst teams. Farke would have, but with West Ham and Forest finding their feet, you are crouching in the bottom. Yeah, of course we are. I think we will finish higher than Wolves and Burnley, even with Farke in charge. But I don't see the other team. I don't see the other team right now that would potentially jump. Marcelo would get a tune out of our players. We would beat Villa 5-3. Yeah, Baz. Bring those days back, mate. Bring them back. Let's beat Villa 5-3. Yeah, and then let's go to City and get spanked 8-0. Fuck it. And then we'll see what happens after that. Love that, mate. Don't understand why he didn't make any changes earlier. Metcher couldn't move after he went down on 30. Yeah, well, limping around with his ankle, wasn't he? Rob Edwards' fair for job tonight. Really? Well, he's off to Wolves, isn't he? Why do some fans keep saying they don't know who Leeds can get? There's hundreds out there that would change your fortunes. I agree. We may not know them, but there's hundreds of managers out there that could turn Leeds this season around. There just is. He makes no tactical tweaks in game when it's not going our way. He waits until we go behind and makes subs. Yep, he does. It was under pressure, 15 minutes. You can see the writing on the wall, Raggy Tash. You can see it. Raggy Tash. Are you me in disguise? Sorry, mate. You can see the writing on the wall. You can see it happening. You know it's coming. The amount of times we concede and go, yeah, well, see that coming 10 minutes ago. There's no plan B or C when the match isn't going our way, and that's it. He has no way of dragging a game back into our grasp when it looks to be slipping away. I mean, I hope Wolves away, but it's Wolves. You know, Wolves away did it. I just have no confidence that he can get enough points to keep us up. Not sure, Richard. Not sure. Of course we do, mate. Hey up, Bob. Matty, we have the worst squad in the Premiership. Bielsa wouldn't do any better. Bob, that's a load of tosh, mate. Bielsa would do better than Farke with his squad, mate. That's wild. This squad, man for man on paper, before Bielsa touched his squad, he's better than that squad. Can if Bielsa had this squad, he'd get us into fucking Europe. He got that squad into 9th. Bob, nah, mate, I don't agree with that, pal. Don't agree with that. Farke needs backing in January window. Mate, I can't. It is what you're entitled to your opinion. If he's still here, of course he needs backing. Goes without saying. Farke and this group of players will go. Will get us relegated. I just don't think Farke with a right winger and a 10 or a right winger and a striker. I mean, what we're saying here, we need 7 or 8 because none of the players are good enough. Or we're saying we just need 1 or 2. 1 or 2 players with Farke doesn't change our season for me. I just don't see it, mate. I just don't see it. But again, I love your optimism. I hope you're right. Bob. I really do. I just don't see it, mate. You're obviously massively backing Farke. And yeah, I hope if he's still here, they back him in January and we stay up 100%. Don't run Big Sam down. He only had 4 or 5. Only one that would ever go. Yeah, I'm just not a big Sam fan. Oh, Rod, but yeah, his time at Leeds in the reason. I'm just not a big fan of his. Let's not go Bielsa again. Nah, unfortunately, that ain't going to happen. Bob Young, Newcastle are 1 point ahead of us. Are the Geordies going to sack Eddie Howe? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Problem with that, Bob, again, come end of season, we ain't going to be a point behind Newcastle, are we? That is going to increase. It's going to increase. Yeah. Look where we are now. We're in a vulnerable position, and look who we've got coming up. That gap to Geordies is going to get stretched. We're going to get leapfrogged by West Ham and Forest in the coming weeks. I think that's the writing's on the wall, pal. According to Jerseys Michael, nobody wants a Leeds management job. I'll have to have a word with Jer tomorrow and see where he's got that info from and how true that is, because I don't know if that's just a comment. As I don't know how anyone would know that. Without ringing every single manager in world football, you wouldn't know that. It might be a job that looks, not sure I'd want that job now because they're probably going to get relegated. But then again, there's 20-odd games, 28 games left, 27 games left. I think if you're a decent manager worth your salt, who's out of work, it's fucking right projects. Keep us up. We're not. It's not a foregone conclusion we go down if you're somebody else. We feel it because we're fans. We feel it right now. We're gutted. But they can separate the feeling as they come in and go, right, who have we got? Where are we at? And they can make it work if they're good enough. Yeah, he is. Yeah, well, I do. I 100% think they do. Anyone will do something for a decent pot of money as well. And we might talk about not having funds and stuff to buy a 15, 20, 30 million pound player. But to get a manager in on a couple of million or whatever it is, it's still peanuts compared to, here's 30 mil for that player and here's 80 grand a week. You know, you can get a manager in for a lot less than you sign a star striker. So it's easier and financially better, I think, to get the manager right if you are going to change it than it is to buy 2 or 3 players to turn your season around. And I think there's loads of managers that would come to Leeds as it is right now because it's still so long left in the season. Did you see the Forest trainer today? He looked like Liam Gallagher. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he had big sideburns, didn't he? Of course it is. It's absolute mental. Mental. If I could waste money on more media, yeah. Farke proved twice that he cannot keep it. Yeah, but Norwich so I don't like to beat him with that stick. Matt, if he goes, who come in? Reese, first answer, don't care. I think Farke takes us down. So whoever else comes in, worst case is to take us down. Let's roll dice like Farke didn't do today. Second one is Marco Rose. I've had a little look. Marco Rose, been at Salzburg. RB Salzburg won 2 titles there, a quarter-final at Champions League. We know a few people from Salzburg already. Went to Mönchengladbach, did better than Farke did there. Went to Borussia Dortmund, did okay there. Moved on to RB Leipzig, won a League Cup, their equivalent of a League Cup there. Plays a 4-4-2 diamond, which we'd all like to see. 2 up top, Reese. And he's an aggressive presser in his style of football. He's German, he's 49. He's been at some huge clubs, quarter-final at Champions League, been at Dortmund. For me, that's who I would bring in tomorrow if I had a choice. Do I know much about him other than what I've just researched before I've come in here? I tell no lies. I didn't have a clue, mate. But I've done a little bit of a look at Marco Rose, and I think he has the potential and caliber to maybe keep us up where I don't agree with Farke. I don't think Farke does. If you had a proper manager in a company, you'll see the HR are spending very little money to get people. Would you want to join? Or that company only has prestige in it? No, I get what you mean, but I still think there'll be managers take this job. It's a Premier League job. It's the best league in the world, and there's only 20 slots. So I think 100% this job would appeal, especially when you're at work. You got to remember, as fans, we think it's the worst job in the world right now. You know, poison chalice, you know, you're doomed. Professionals, you know, can separate the emotion, won't look at it like that. Some will, but not all of them. Brendan Rodgers, Ragitash, if he comes in, I'll back him. In-game management, there was space in Forest left back channel, and we should have got Dan James on sooner. I agree. I said that watching game, Richard, 100%. He should have come on a lot earlier. How does he know he has no experience in professional sports? No. If Wolves can bring in a manager in their position, then I can't see you struggling to. Yeah, we won't struggle. I don't think we'll struggle to get one. Again, Joe stated to get Rodgers in would be toxic and a big mistake. Apparently, Joe, I mean, I've heard all these as well, Michael. Yeah, maybe you would. But I think if we keep Farke, it's going to go toxic. And that'll be a big mistake. But yeah, I know Rodgers has issues off field or has had issues off field. I don't think he's a particularly nice guy from bits I've heard. If it's true, again, I don't know. But again, it's all about keeping my team in the division. I think coming into a side like Leeds, maybe he'll get more points than Farke. But yeah, he wouldn't be my number one. But he's probably going to be linked quite heavily because he's available. Might look how bad Forest were today, and they aren't going to win many games. Yeah, no, I know they're not. I think they'll jump us. I think they'll finish above us. Pouring money on a good manager ain't going to solve the problem fundamentally. No, I know. No, not for me, mate. Not for me. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. 149 still watching. 146 likes. 4 more likes, be class. And if you don't give me 4 more likes, I'm still buzzing. It's been not buzzing with football, buzzing with tonight though. It's been a really good chat. Been really no toxic chat in there. It's been really, really good. We're still finished 10 for 11. Top banana. Nah, mate. Cheers, Matty. You don't know my name. Isn't coming up tonight. You normally sing me a bit of David Gray. This year's love better last. Heaven knows it's time to sack our manager. Chalice. Leeds are a big club in the best league in football. Loads of managers will want that job. Look at when Sunderland recruited Labrie. No one had heard of him. Yeah, Chris, I'm massive on that. There'll be names out there. There'll be managers out there we haven't heard of. I haven't heard of Marco Rose. I should have done because he's played at, he's managed at a decent level. But yeah, it's one of them. There's loads of people out there that would take 154 likes, people. Absolutely love you to bits. Absolutely class, a lot of you. Most of these coaches will see a contract on offer. It doesn't matter. Yeah, true. I mean, imagine you come in, you sign a 3-year contract. Look at the lad at Wolves, just signed a new deal. He gets paid off for a nice Sunday. Hey, up, my favourite Alatoner. Definitely needs a change. No change every game now. Cheers, my mate. You're a good one, mate. You're a good one. See you later, mate. Cheers, Ian, mate. Appreciate you dropping in, mate. Thanks so much. I'm out. See you later, Slimo. Take care. Good stream, mate. Easy as a pain. Cheers, Tony. Appreciate that. Thanks, Matty. Much love in the chat. Ryan Cook, thank you. Bob Young, love you a bit, Matty. Keep the faith. Try, mate. I'll try. End of the day, Farke stays, Bob. I'm still there. I'm still paying my money. I'm still going week in, week out. And I'll never boo. I'll be there. I'll fully support, vocal as anything. I just want to change myself. But yeah. Good show, mate, letting us all vent. Yeah, I tried my best to bring as many as I could. I had to skip some telly because numbers are crazy for me, but I tried to get through as many as I could, so I appreciate everyone who's commented. If I have missed you, I'm sorry. I hope I brought pretty much, everyone at least 1 or 2 up. Yeah, Tezza, take care, man. Matt, can we get our handle names appearing in your chat? I am Michael Pollard. I don't know why it's going on like this. I don't know why it's doing it in my chat. For some reason, it's changed everyone's names. I don't know why. So Michael, I don't know why. I'm sorry if it's I haven't done anything my end to do it, but it has changed everyone's names. It's doing my head in too. Appreciate it anyway, Michael. You've been here, mate. Thanks so much. Top Banana, fantastic chat, mate. Thanks. No, thank you all. Honestly, class, absolutely class. I'm in Chicago, so we are getting ready for 2045. Oh, shovels out. Stay safe, Andy. I hope so. Yeah, stay safe, mate. Take care. Good night. Thanks, Steve. Thanks a lot. Ina, look after yourself, mate. Thanks as always, pal. Rod Jones, good night. Thank you. Not been in the chat, been listening. Farke out. Thanks. Justin, nice to see you, man. Hope you're well. 155 likes, Roger Slicker. Class, man. Thanks so much. Best time to change it. 2-week break. I agree. Yeah, right. We'll call it there. Night all. Over 2 hours, longest pod yet, my unreal. 2 hours. Sorry for waffling. Yeah. Sorry for waffling. It is what it is. 1 sec. Anyway, thanks for the stream. Night, bud. Yeah, thanks so much. Anyway, I'm going to play out of a song. 125. On your way out, smash us a like. This is my version of Marching On Together if you've not heard it. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.
Here we go with Leeds United. We're gonna give the boys a hand. Stand up and sing for Leeds United. They are the greatest in the land. Every day we're all gonna say we love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Everywhere we're gonna be there. We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Marching on together, we're gonna see you win. Na 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 na. We shout it out loud. We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. We've been through it all together, and we've had our ups and downs. Gonna stay